All right. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, and now we are live streaming as well. Hello, those two viewers. Welcome to the very first episode of our campaign 4 of the Quest Collectives. Is the group that we call ourselves. We're just a bunch of nerds playing Dungeons and Dragons in a settings of RuneScape. I am the Dungeon Master, and I will be your host today. And we have a few people that are either not going to be joining us today or are going to be running late. So we will be starting with what we have and introduce the rest along the way. So, give me 1 minute to get something started here. All right. So, the realm of RuneScape is a plane like no other, filled with stories, adventures, powerful artifacts, and history. A perfect plane created by the Elder Gods, with countless of stories being told. Obviously, where one ends, another begins. And that is where we are starting off now. Within the city of Falador, in the kingdom of Ascarnia, where our focus lies, there is a young, gnomish looking female who seems to be walking down the streets of Falador in a very snowy atmosphere. Actually, I have the wrong photo for Falador posted on the stream, but I will fix that in a minute. As Bera, as you're walking down the streets of Falador, Christmas lights all around, snow falling from the sky. Luckily, it is not as cold as it usually is. You have your winter outfit on, ensuring that you aren't freezing, keeping your berries, your potions, and all the likes tucked away in a pouch or a bag, if you will. Introduce your character, Barrow, on their appearance and what they would be doing at this moment.
All right. Barrett is a small gnome leprechaun. She's wearing a little face mask, and her puffish red hair covers her eyes, so can't really see any of her face. She's got a giant backpack filled with different berries and berry juices, as well as their pet rabbit, and tons of ogle root to feed the rabbit. Their snowsuit is stained with different berry juices, just as their normal outfit is. And they would be walking the streets of Falador currently, looking for anyone to to sell berry juices and berry cures for.
So, as you're walking down the streets of Falador, enjoying the view of the Christmas lights and the celebration, clearly something that has passed a while now. You managed to spot a shop open, and you recognize this shop. It is a herbalist shop who you usually go to and sell your berries and other items that you would have for them to buy. Obviously, along front of yours, do you wish to enter?
Yeah, I'll enter.
As you walk in, you feel the warmth of the fireplace in located on your left side as you walk in. You see the fire on, and you see the old man there just poking at the flames, moving some logs around. As the door opens, and clearly the sound of the bell rings to notify him that someone is walking in, he turns around and looks over to you. Happily, you could see the expression on his face. He goes, "Ah, my favorite seller!" He's a human by the name of Robert. You've known Robert for a long time. He's about 70 years old. He has spent his life selling potions, from different medicines to potions that are usually considered spices, like a sauce. He looks over to you, happily that you arrived, and goes, "How's my favorite berry seller? Have anything new for me? Maybe the medicine for my back pain?"
Very good morning, Robert. I have the usual currently. Let's see what I got in here for you. I would rumble around in my bag. You could hear the different glasses clinking and clanging. And I would pull out a jar of red berry juice and hand it to him. This is supposed to help with back pain, according to things and papers.
He nods and goes, "Well, at least I could trust you with it. How much do I owe you for this?
This one's on the house.
Haha, this is why you're my favorite seller. Oh, come here, quickly," he says as he grabs the stick from the wall and starts using it as support to walk. And he goes, and he starts leading you over to the counter of his desk, and he shows you a berry you've never seen before. It's large and almost shiny, in terms clearly showing that he washed it, but there's something different about it. From your study of berries, there doesn't seem to be this doesn't seem to be anything familiar to you. To which Robert goes, "I don't know if you heard about those Ilujanga folks that managed to migrate onto the world. Well, one of them happened to sell me this. It's supposed to be a fruit from their homeland."
I have not heard of these Ilujanka before. I've never seen a berry quite like this one.
"Yes, according to them, it's juicy. One bite of it, bang. I would like you to have it. Consider it as a late Christmas gift." He goes on ahead, places it in a bag, and hands it over to you. "Knowing you, I'm certain you can make those grow somehow."
Yeah, I'll definitely have to try that out. If I can get some of these, I gotta learn the qualities I can use for my berry juices. If I can get this to grow.
And I know you can. Make several of those grows, and I'm certain you can sell a bunch of those. I actually picked a piece myself, and it really does have a fine taste of sweetness. I left the rest for you because, believe it or not, they do have some seeds in there. So they're not seedless, but they are delicious too. "Oh," he says as he starts walking over, "your mother sent word. Apparently she knew that you come here every once in a while. She wished you a Merry Christmas," and he looks around his counter as he goes, "Bloody, where is it?" He walks around and he starts rummaging through stuff. Here we go. He goes on ahead and hands you a bag of vials. But they don't look like regular vials. They look like elven vials, crystal vials. There's about at least 5 of them. And he goes, "According to her, she managed to buy some off for you. Wishing you well on your travels, at least. She told me once I see you to hand it over to you."
Well, I'm surprised she remembered me at all. But this is a very nice gift.
Yeah.
I would take the vials and the fruit.
Well, obviously it's the holidays. You can't forget family on the holidays. I mean, I figured it was a surprise to me too, knowing that your mother and you seem to keep your distance. Right?
Yeah, we're not on the best of terms exactly.
Well, it is not my concern, nor am I to question on it. But this is a gift she decided to give you. Anyway, what brings you into town? Still trying to sell to other people?
Yep, just the usual grifting. I got very merry berries, and I'm ready to sell.
Go figures. Oh, as he says, I am doing just well. I've actually been planning on retiring in the next 2 months. I'm gonna give this shop to my grandkids. Apparently, they've made themselves to be fine potion makers. Better than me, to be honest, he says. As he continues to talk, mumbling some nonsense you usually tone out because it's just old people rumble. The corner of your eyes catches something. On the window of his shop, finally focusing on it, you notice that there's a flyer, several flyers of missing person. Different people. Some young adults, others teenagers, some elderlies. From the sketch appeared on them, they don't look like they're nobles. How do you respond to this?
Hey, Robert, there's a lot more missing people in the city now. What's going on with that?
He looks over and he goes, yeah, well, this has been going on for like about a month now, before your arrival, actually. It seems that there are a lot of people missing. Nobody can figure it out. He starts thinking for a moment, goes, oh, the guards have managed to get help from the White Knights, and supposedly they are putting up some sort of protocols or something. I don't know. One of the flyers, the newest one, is that one right there. He gestures on the one on the very far right of the window. It'll give you explanation to go speak to the White Knights at the castle. They'll probably give you more information. Why? Are you interested in helping?
Uh, there might be a lot of adventurers signing up for this, right? Maybe I can camp out by the White Knights and sell them some berries for the adventure.
Yeah, well, whatever you wish to do. I'm telling you now, the best you could do is maybe join them. Who knows? Like you said, a good advertisement, aye. A great way to sell berries. Maybe keep them on their shape too, huh? Some pain reliever. Berry flavored medicine. Ooh, that sounds good, real good. He said as he walks, he pulls a stool to sit down and looks over to you and goes, well, you can go on ahead and take that flyer if you wish, or memorize the words there. And, yeah, join them in the search. Maybe join a little adventuring party and be able to give them berries as advertisement. Send some my way, too.
It could be good protection. I could go further without having to buy bodyguards.
Well, go ahead and have your fill on adventuring. Trust me, you're not getting any younger. He looks at you for a moment and goes, well, considering you are a gnome, he says, questioning, goes, considering you are probably a gnome, you're not getting any younger, and you have years to come by. Let me tell you, someone who's in his 80s, which is old for humans, even though I may not look like it, he smirks as he tries to pretend he's hot and goes, you would want to have some excitement in your life. All right?
Yeah, I think I'll go check them out. See if there's any groups about to head off or anything.
So as you look to the flyer, you see that the flyer tells you that you should speak to Sir Amic Vars, the leader of the White Knights, to be debriefed on the mercenary protocol. Go do me a favor and roll for history.
Okay, 1 second. 15.
Right. As you recall what a mercenary protocol is, you've come to learn that it is a protocol that each kingdom has. You come to remember, that it is a protocol that each kingdom has. Something that something that allows them to recruit outside help from their official guards or military members. Basically allows adventurers, civilians, or even mercenaries themselves to accept aid with payment, although not big payment, just small enough payment that would benefit the adventuring types. What do you do now? Do you head over to the castle?
I would take the flyer and wish Robert a very good day and be on my way to the castle.
As you're walking away, Robert waves at you and goes, "Good luck! And remember, Happy New Year's!" He stopped for a moment and goes, looking at the calendar, goes, "Right? Oh, no." As you start bumbling again, you start walking off. And you start feeling a sort of excitement. You've never been on an adventure before, and you've never been on a quest, although you could probably call traveling and selling berries your own type of adventure. This is different in its own way. You go on ahead and you manage to walk over, huddling your rabbits so they don't freeze from the cold, and you make your way down to the castle. Meanwhile, as that is happening, underground, under the city of Volador, is a large mining city of dwarves that are all mining for the artisan workshop. There, somewhere around there, there's a train station that allows passengers to come in and out. There, a jolly dwarf is sitting down as the train mentioned in dwarvish tongue that it is now arriving to Volador's station. Kazric, you're sitting down holding on to not a very large barrel, but big enough for you to be able to hold over your shoulder, right next to you. As you're sitting there, knowing that you're about to stop by and visit the very knight that just got promoted, who you recall was once a squire. You wish to celebrate with him. Go on ahead and introduce your character with their appearance and what is it that is either going through their heads or what are they going to be doing as the train stops, as this train is coming to a stop.
Alright, I'm playing Kazrik Oathhammer. He's a dwarf fighter. He's rather old for human it is. He's around 80. He has fought in Dwarven Wars. He's been a miner almost his entire life, apart from his time in the Dwarven military during the wars. And right now he's thinking about hopefully faces of joy he can receive when he's going to the former squire with an entire barrel of beer for his and his companions to drink a night at least, or two if it's enough.
As the train starts coming to a stop, you hear from a dwarf shouting in dwarvish tongue, "All right, Falador Station, we are here!" As you see him walking down, looking over to helping other people with their luggages, mostly just elderly dwarves. As he looks over to you and goes, "Aye, you're a black guard dwarf, eh? What brings you to Falador?"
Festivities, my friend. Kazakh will reply in dwarven tongue.
He goes, "Aye. Celebration, I assume." He looks at the barrel and goes, well, between you and me, I could have sworn you were here for the missing people reports. Have you heard?"
You can see slowly one of his gray eyebrows raise.
Ooh, I assume you don't then. Well, apparently the humans have been spreading words that the city has been having reports of missing people pile on and on and on. So they have activated something called the Mercenary Protocol. Apparently they're accepting everybody from outside their official military service to assist them with this case. You're looking to join them? I suggest going to the castle. Who knows, maybe your comrade is there, eh?
Yeah, I was making my way to there. Might as well have a look. Thanks you.
Aye. He says as he looks at you and goes, "Oh, I have to go. I have to help this elderly over there. Oh, and one more thing. Try to be careful. Because we don't really know about these missing people, but supposedly there seems to be a lot of reports that they're not nobles. Wouldn't want a fellow dwarves to be kidnapped, eh?"
Alright, man. You guys keep the mine safe. Farewell. And Kazrek is gonna make his way towards the upper city. Well, the daylight part.
Alright, so yeah, no. So you're walking, you carry the barrel. Again, which is not that big, but it has dwarven strout. Delicious beer from the dwarven kind. And you, being a dwarf, know of a special way to make it 10 times better and stronger. Luckily, you have the gold coins to do it. As you continue walking, now stepping out of the train station, holding the barrel, you're looking around and you see a lot of humans walking out, dwarves, goblins from Durgish Shan. A group of goblins that are known to be underground and seem to have evolved in a way to look better than regular goblins. Better in terms of they look more civilized with bigger eyes to help them see through the dark. And they aren't hunched forward, but now they seem to stand straight. As you're walking out to enter the city, you're walking up the steps. You look and you feel the coldness of the city hit you. You know it's winter, and you've been mostly underground, so this type of breeze is somewhat new to you. And you enjoy it, because at least it's something outside of being underground. As you walk out of the station, there is a notice board on your right showing you the missing people flyer with one big notice in comments saying Mercenary Protocol active. Looking for anyone, civilians, adventurers, or mercenary themselves to assist on the missing person case. The information you read there says to head over to the castle in the center of the city and and ask to Sir Amic Vars. Did you head over?
First of all, seeing this common speak, he's gonna pull out a little notebook and really, really small written in there is like a little comparison between Dwarvish and Common. So he takes like a half a minute to a minute to first of all decipher the entire message. Then he's gonna shrug and go like, yeah, might as well. Best way to find the square. And make his way towards said castle.
Sorry, I'm still here. Just give me one moment. Just noticed something on my stream. All right. So as you grab it, as you look into it, you're looking through the translation. As even though you understand Common and speak it a bit, there's still some words that you're trying to get through. But you manage to find the words, and you manage to confirm it says what you assumed it said. Although there's probably a word there that you got confused with, but managed to get it. With that, you close your translator and you confidently, still carrying the barrel, head over to the castle. Meanwhile, Thimble, welcome. Welcome now, since you're here. Are you ready for you and Asumi to do your introduction? Yes? No? Oh god, don't tell me. I think your thing is having issue now.
Yeah, the Discord overlay shows him speaking, but there's nothing coming up. Yeah, mic issues probably.
It's another mic issue, yeah. Alright, while he fixes his mic issues, we'll go to... I am probably saying this wrong. Rudovic?
Indeed, Rudovic.
Say it again.
Quick test.
Rudovic.
Rodovic.
Indeed.
Rodovic, alright. Wait, hold up. Thimble, did you finally get yours fixed?
I don't know. Did I?
Yeah.
Yes!
It's loud, finally. Alright, so we'll start with Thimble then. Thimble and Asumi. And then we'll go over to you, Rodovic. Alright, let me make sure I have everything. Alright. So, in the outskirt of the city, in the outskirt of the city, south west of it, within the road separating Remington, a small little hub, and Falador. In it, within the carriage, there's a carriage that is going straight to the, following the road. There, Asumi and Thimble are within it. You guys have just finished one of your recent cases, having to have stopped what appeared to be a Black Knight raiding party. But there was something odd about this case. The leader of the raiding party seemed to be screaming Bloody Mary, claiming that they weren't the one responsible for this. They weren't in control of their action. Instead, they were being mind controlled. Although the Remington guards didn't let him explain himself any further. He goes on ahead, he was taken to their prison to then be put into an interrogation. The both of you found this odd, but before we continue on some further roleplay, for the viewers at home, who I see are two viewers, Asumi is mute in real life due to an injury, so I will be reading what they tell me through private message so they don't feel afraid to interrupt anybody. But the both of you, starting with Thimble first, go on ahead and introduce your character by name, appearance, and what they're thinking about on the case.
Hi, I'm Thimble Brambleflick, and right now Thimble is currently trying to think through whether or not the supposedly brainwashed knight was telling the truth. Because if so, that just means this whole thing is kind of suspicious.
But what about your appearance, your attire?
Right.
Aside from winter clothes, because it is snowing.
Okay, Thimble is currently dressed in a black trench coat with a little black hat. And he's... Actually, I don't know the exact height for a gnome, but yeah, he's a gnome with orange-reddish hair and a rather prominent chin.
Alright, and assuming posted, he is a half orc with a full white knight armor with the inside clothing showing the rank of his armor, being basically the newest rank, a novice, if you will, which I, as a dungeon master, can't seem to remember the name of it, and neither can they. But being a newly fleshed white knight, you could tell by the armor as it's shining white, wearing a winter scarf around their neck to indicate that they are free, that they are trying to protect themselves from the cold. Was also trying to figure out the case. Alright, so the both of you, Sumi and Thimble, I want the both of you to go on ahead and roll for investigation check.
$21.
Not bad. And what about you, Asumi? A 9. Ooh, okay. So you have a 13 in passive. Ooh. So alright, so one got 21, and I'll allow that 13 in passive because I do have to remember the passive. You're trying to recall all the evidence you collected. And one of the weirdest evidence there is that after stripping the raider's leader of his weapons and ensuring that the armor didn't have any sort of explosive, removing his armor, underneath his armor was regular civilian attire with a Saradomin symbol, indicating that they're Saradominists. But how? Assuming you recall casting a spell to see if there was any hint of magic being played, but there was none. Do me a favor and roll for Arcana. It says you rolled an 18. For those of you at home, I'm watching it on D&D Beyond. I can see it on the little tab there. But okay, so with an 18, you're thinking, and you know that there are certain spells that are active and inactive. With Mastema, with your Uncle Mastema and Aunt Klimdu teaching you magic, you do recall that there are some mind control spells that are active for either an hour or more. Considering the raiding parties where something more than a month is new to you? Could it be that they were active through some sort of enchantment that they had on them, like an amulet or item? But you can't tell because despite this, assuming you couldn't find anything. Assuming entered while I was giving the description going, Thimble, you also found this odd about his story, yes?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, honestly. I mean, Saradominist clothes underneath, Zamarakian Kintra armor on top. It doesn't match. So, something about this is just kind of not matching up. I don't get it.
Assuming responded with, I agree. I could have thought of several different excuses, like being forced to, or perhaps wanting to feed their family, considering the stories that aunt and uncle gave us about the crops dying to some issue that happened before in the past. But now, I believe it might be magic, but I'm not sure.
I mean, didn't you just check to see if there was, like, any kind of magical traces left over? Did you find anything?
He responds with, no, either too late to collect information or, sorry, he edited, too late to detect anything, or was deactivated the moment they were caught.
Latter seems more likely. If you wanted to make sure no one could trace you, you do it the moment they get caught. If this is true, we're dealing with somebody quite cunning.
But that begs the question, why cause a raid? Perhaps panic through the kingdom?
Yeah, panic, pandemonium, maybe a distraction from a much more sinister threat. We don't have much to go off of, so we can't make any real, substantial claims right now. We at least got the whiffs of a conspiracy, so it's enough to start looking further into it. There might be something. Actually, I'm kind of wondering. Nah, I'll figure it out when we get back to Falador.
As you're heading back to Falador, you manage to go through the gates, and being a white knight carriage, they would let you in quicker than the line of people that you see outside. A lot of them wearing winter attire, a lot of them being resources from farmers. You enter the city and stop at a nearby stable where you get off and the rider goes, alright, well, Sir Knight, civilian of the Sir Knight, I hope the two of you enjoy the ride, the food, the beverage, and good luck on the future endeavor. Oh, and I suppose happy holidays, he says as he's now removing the strap that the ox had when pushing the carriage.
Thanks again, and happy holidays. And then Thimble heads out of the stable.
Sumi nods at the rider as he goes and walks towards the castle. Thimble, do you follow?
Yep.
Okay. So the two of you head towards the castle. As being by time frame, I was gonna have the two of you go first. So by time frame, the two of you were the first ones to make it to the castle. And upon entering, being a white knight and Thimble being cousin to Asumi, adopted cousin, you were allowed in without waiting through the line of what you could tell were various of adventurers and mercenaries all there, just looking at you guys walk through. Each one just whispering at each other. Several of the white knights nods at you, Asumi, as you walk in. And as you enter and start heading up the stairs to report to Sir Amic on your findings, you see him there just you see him in his office on the, hold up just to make sure I have the location right, on the west wing of the castle, on the third floor, rubbing his forehead as he seems like he's about to get a headache as he's reading through some reports. He looks over as you walk in and he goes, Asumi and Thimble, I hope the two of you brought in some good news.
Well, we stopped at a raid by some Kintra, but something about the situation was a bit off. I'll let Asumi explain it a bit more in detail.
Asumi is typing real quick, with Sir Amic nodding as you explain a portion of it, Thimble. As he goes and he looks over to Asumi, who is still typing. Alright. As Asumi explains, he goes, it seems that the raiding leader is claiming that he was being mind controlled to a degree. And they seem to have been Sir Dominus because under the armor of the Kintra, they had a Sir Dominus symbol and civilian attires, making me think that they might be a civilian and their stories of being controlled might be true. I wish to bring them here to interrogate them for information to see if there's anything that we can find out. Amic is listening to you, rubbing against his goatee as he nods and goes, I see. Well, I suppose that is an issue. And you believe that this individual might be telling the truth. He looks at Asumi, which they respond with a nod. I'll see what I can do. Considering that Remington is part of Ascarnia, I can have the prisoner transferred here. But obviously they might want to interrogate him first. So I will go on ahead and send a request to have the prisoner transferred here. In the meantime, I have to go and speak to the adventurers that are in the castle. Which Asumi responds with, I was going to ask that as well, but why are there a group of adventurers outside of the castles? Which Amic responds with, oh, right, you've been gone for a month. For a little bit more than a month. He says as he gets up and goes, there has been several missing reports according to the guards of Falador. They have been trying to ask us for assistance for a while now, but I haven't been able to lend some white knights because a lot of them have been busy. We still have forces of white knights located at the archaeology guild because they're trying to clean up the old battlefield against the elder gods. As such, I can't give any, especially when I'm having them either guard or patrol the kingdom to ensure that the Zamarakians don't attack us. So, we activated a mercenary protocol. We are accepting help from outside. Assuming responds with a annoyed expression can be seen on his face, where he goes, "I'm here now. Allow me to be one of the knights to investigate. We don't need to continue with the protocol." Which Amek responds with, "We do. The protocol has been active and the Basilissa has agreed to the protocol. We already have a reward set aside to anybody that managed to uncover what's going on. As such, I do have an idea. Allow me to give you and your cousin Thimble here the mission. You will be assisted by the adventurers and any other willing participant. Simply trying to discover this because we need all the help we can get. Do you agree upon it, Thimble?"
I think I should be fine with that. In fact, this has also given me some ideas that I want to talk with Asumi about before we start getting this investigation started. But as far as I'm aware, that should work for me.
Asumi responded saying that they don't like the idea entirely, but they nod with a salute going, "Yes, sir, I agree." Which Amek responds with, "Excellent. Then come. We will meet the adventurers at the courtyard." As this is happening, Rudovic,
Yep.
traveling from Varrock to Volador, you managed to come into the city after passing through the gates guards. You have been busy, sort of, going from town to town, being a sort of vigilante to the city, ensuring that you can stop criminals from left to right, protecting the innocent children's. But something catches your attention. You see a group of adventurers about 50 feet away trying to enter the castle, all waiting to enter. And at first you plan on ignoring this and going through the city to at least enjoy some holiday vacation. Only to spot several flyers put on a notice board. Each flyer having a missing person. And you can see some are old flyers, but some are recent as well. As you're looking through, you see a lot of these missing people are of children's, if not children's, of teenagers and adults. None of them noble, but you can tell there's a lot there that are mostly either the age range of either early 20 to being young enough to be about 10, 11 years old. What is first, introduce your character by a name, appearance, and their reaction to finding this out.
Well, Rudovek Pavlinos, he is a quite tall man, around the age of 30. Quite not like a powerful build, like not a lot of muscles, but refined muscles. And he would react more like, "Blood the hell? Is this the work of... Ah, no, that cannot be. They fucking got disbanded." Something like that.
Alright. So, as you're saying that, looking at the flyers, you go in to examine it further, and you see it say, if you wish, one of the newest flyer, which is a bigger one, put in the center, going, mercenary protocol activated. Civilian, mercenaries, or adventurers all alike, if you're here to assist in the investigation of the missing people report, please head over to the White Knight Castle and speak to Sir Amic Verse. Do you head over to the castle?
Yes.
As you're walking there, determined to save these children from whatever kidnapping is happening, the only thing that comes to your mind is the number. You counted the flyers, and you could count that there were at least, if no flyer are being like posted on top of each other, there were at least a total of 20 missing person reports. You safely assume that there's more, but you're not certain because obviously the bigger flyer was covering the rest. As you're there with the group of adventurers, a lot of them look at you at first because you are getting closer, but then they look up at you, a bit amazed that you're tall. Very tall for, probably too tall for a normal human. To where they just nod and they're like looking at each other like, wow, might not mess with them. To which one of them looks at you and goes, hey, I know you. Weren't you at Verrock a few weeks in the back? Didn't you help like the guards throw away a murderer?
That probably was me, indeed. Do I know you?
Well, we never formally met, no, but I actually saw you chasing the guy through the alleyway, I believe. You tackled him so hard that I could have thought I heard bones cracking. I think I remember you had like a bruise on your cheek because you fell face first as well. I see the bruise is gone, all healed up.
Indeed. And it probably wasn't bones, it was the ground.
The ground, yeah, that was really, ooh. Well, so you're here to try to help with the investigation, huh?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you're a bit early. A lot of us are basically just wondering if we should do it or not. I'm actually here with a group of friends. We actually came from Ardorian, a kingdom far from the west, a city far from the west. Believe it or not, we don't even think that we are able to do this because we're on our own mission. But if you want, I can give you some tips real quick. He tries to lean to you, gesturing you to lean forward a little bit. If you do so, he whispered, going, so, there's a lot of rumors saying that this could be the work at the hands of some religious cult of the Zamorakian. Some believe it could be the cult of Baal, the demon worshippers. Others believe it could be an attempt to cause panic or chaos from some other Zamorakian cult. There's no reports of dead bodies, so that's a good news too, because that means that the kidnappers, the kidnappees, are still alive.
The hand, you say? Interesting. But they shouldn't be up and running. They kind of got, well, not the hand exactly, but their subsection got kind of disbanded. They really are that stupid to start doing kidnapping again. Interesting.
Yeah. So, some piece of advice for you, so you could be able to solve this. Before he could continue, he's being called for. Eric, come on! We're gonna go. We're gonna be late for the next mission. Might as well let the rest of these people try to solve it themselves. We need to head out. Ah, I'm coming! Well, I have to go. Oh, and one more thing. The only vital information that I know is that the kidnaps always happen at night in the alleyway within the city. And there's never any trail that leads to where they go. Alright?
Thank you for the information.
He nods and gives you like a slight bow before he heads back to the group, which you can see them leaving, exiting out from to the gate. As you look back and then you look forward, you see obviously the group of adventurers still large, but not large enough. And you start walking towards the bridge. You look and you start seeing a dwarf carrying a beer barrel just walking as well with you from behind, and a gnomish looking fellow who has a rabbit with tucked in her winter attire, keeping it warm as she's also walking, holding the flyers in her hand. As you guys make it to the courtyard, you see that there's a bonfire big enough to be able to keep you guys warm. Obviously, all of you can see the bonfire is made not to be too big that could burn the castle down, but big enough so like that you guys could be close enough to it and feel the warmth of the flames at least. As you're there waiting, do you guys want to interact with each other? Assuming in Thimble you're not there yet, but Bera, Kazric, and Rudy, as you said you were okay with the nickname. Do you guys want to like introduce yourselves to each other, or do you stay quiet for now?
What are you guys? Are you here to help with the investigation or trying to solve the kidnappings?
My eyes would narrow on the elderly looking dwarf, and I would go up to them a little closer and go, "So, you must have ailments. What ails you, my friend?"
He's going to blink twice. Then he's going to hold up his barrel and be like, "Ich drink with a white knight. Good fun."
So you're an alcoholic. Maybe some lurg berries would help that. So I start fishing around in my pack. I would not respond to Rudovic. I would be too focused on trying to make a sale.
Kazek is going to react with Gottverdammt, kommen nicht gut. As he uncomfortably shifts like half a step back.
I pull out a bottle. It's a little vial that it's got purple liquid inside of it. And I lean over to you and I go, "This is lurg berries. According to some papers and some research that I've heard of, that if you drink this after getting, you won't get a hangover at all."
He sort of just looks at you. Antitoxin? Got those. He pulls out like 4 bottles of antitoxins.
Well, this one also tastes like purple, which is good tasting. I raise my hand and go, 5 gold.
He's going to shake his head.
I scoot real quick over to Rudovic. "Now tell me about you. What ails you?" As I put back my lugberry juice into my backpack.
So Redovic said they have to AFK real quick. They posted it to me instead. But as you go to scoot to them real quick, Let's move on to while they're AFK waiting for them to respond. Let's move on to Thimble and Asumi real quick as you guys are following Sir Amic. Thimble, you said you wanted to go through some idea with Asumi.
Yeah, so Thimble turns to Asumi and goes, "So, I've been thinking about something. You don't think that the raiders we just captured might be some of the missing people, do you?"
He responds with, hard to say. The chances could be likely. Maybe they didn't expect the case of the raid to be solved too quickly.
Maybe. Well, I assume we got a list of all the missing people and their general description, right, Sir Amic?
Amic goes, yes, the detective of the guards, Detective Alex, he will brief you on this when I send you to him. For now, we're just going to go to the courtyard to give the information needed and see who's willing to stay and listen while I then lead you to Detective Alex. But there is a list. When I read the report, there's over 100 missing people. What finally got the guards to actually talk to me and ask for assistance, which when they reached to 50.
God, that's huge. How do 100 people just disappear like that? You'd think someone would have spotted something by now. Just, damn.
Asumi responds with, that is careless of them. They should have asked when it was lesser than that. 20 missing people. The city, ever since Osaradoman left to face Samrak, the city thinks that we're too busy, don't they? Which Amic responds with, I'm afraid so. They most likely think that we're being used to help Saradomin. The Saradomin have the Icines, and their holy powers is enough to keep the enemies, the demons, and the corrupt at bay. But still, we have to see it through their eyes. They want this kingdom safe, and we have to provide it one way or another. He says as he's heading down the stairs now with you guys following. Going back to the courtyard, Bera, you were asking something to Rudovic, right?
Yeah, after my sales pitch to the dwarf failed, I scooted over to Rudovic and I went, well, what ails you, my friend?
Well, nothing else. Me, not really. Why are you asking?
I sell all sorts of berries and berry juices. I'm a berry alchemist, you see. And I've got berries and juices for everything, even immune boosting or like, do you have a cut? I have perfect tonic for that.
No, but do you have some berries that you can just eat like a snack?
Oh yes, I have many berries. What are you interested in? I start going in my backpack. I got janger berries, kefla berries, lurg berries. I even got some red berries, some poison ivy if you're feeling tingly.
What was the first one? I kind of bad with names of things I don't really know.
Janger berries, I believe is what I said.
Oh, give me a few berries of that. How much do I owe you for that?
I pull out like a stem. It's got about 3 on it, and I'll say, about 2 gold would be fine.
Good price. Here you go. I give him 2 gold pieces, and take the stem.
And over the janger berries, they're very green. They don't look exactly ripe. You probably could tell they're rather tart tasting from the way they look.
Well, I try one out. Just they, as you said, they don't look very They don't look ripe, but I'll try it out.
Yeah, they're nice and tart. Sort of maybe pear-like in texture and quality.
Very nice. So, how did you even like start selling these berries and stuff? How did you get into this line of work?
I grew up on a farm most of my life, and for that entire life on the farm, I was only allowed to eat a vegetable called ogle root, and let me tell you, it's a horrible vegetable. I've always wanted to eat the sweet berries on the farm, but my mother would never let me. So I kind of became really interested in them after I left the farm.
Ooh, interesting. It probably would really suck to just eat one kind of food for most of your life. I kind of feel sorry for you.
Thank you, thank you. I use that line when people don't buy my food very often. It's a good way to tug on the heartstrings.
Question as a player, did you say that out loud about it being a lie?
I didn't say it's a lie. I said I use that line.
Oh, sorry about
Just-
that.
I usually tell my sob story to increase sales.
Would you be interested in playing some dice?
And some dice.
Some
Yeah.
dice.
All right.
As you
I
guys are
could be
talking
down for
amongst
that.
yourself, you hear some knights going, "Attention! Introducing Sir Amic Vars, leader of the White Knights, Lord Regent of Ascarnia," as he's coming out. In an appearance for you guys, Sir Amic is wearing a White Knight attire, which the under the the clothing under the armor being blue. Um, there you could see that he was higher rank as he had a white bandana there and a reddish cape, which is covering both of his shoulder pads a bit. As he's walking there, you behind him you see Asumi, which who you you recognize Kazric as the squire that helped you. And yes, you can see now he is a fully fledged white knight, walking behind Sir Amic with his cousin, who you recall seeing once, right next to Amic as well. And you guys can see that Sir Amic walking in with what appears to be a orcish-looking fellow and a gnome. Some of the adventurers looking around, and you guys can hear whisper, "Is that an orc? Doesn't look like an orc. It looks like more like a human. Is he cosplaying?" All the whispers going about of what Asumi could look like. And there, Asumi, you recognize one of these people. Kazric, the blackguard dwarf that you assisted once with your knight when you were squire, and that your cousin Asumi, cousin Thimble helped you this time when you were there. You look at him. Do you do anything to like get his attention or greet him or anything? And what about you, Kazric? Do you do anything to catch his attention?
Well, seeing Azumi, he's going to, because he's a short guy, right? Seeing him in the crowd, not that easy. And he's going to throw up his spell and catch it again and scream, Azumi! Ich bin hier! Zeit zum Trinken! Before he catches himself and regains his composure. Looking a bit less excited and a bit more stoic than 2 seconds before. As he changes his jumping and falling off a barrel to a normal wave.
Asumi responds saying that they wave at you. and then just gestures you to stay there, and he goes, we'll talk in a minute. After this, he says a little bit loud as Amek looks back at Asumi with a small smirk, as he could tell that Asumi at least has some friends outside of the order. Not counting Thimble, who's technically family. Asumi whispered to Thimbles and goes, "Hey, look, it's Kazarick. Huh. I wonder if there's anybody else that we might have met back then who's also here."
Unlikely. The chances of that are just kind of slim.
Right? So as you walk to the center of the courtyard, at least close enough to the fire, you feel the warmth of the flames as Amek looks over and goes, "Firstly, I want to say thank you all for being here and accepting the call of the mercenary protocol. I know this might not be easy to hear, but we have over 100 missing person cases. Several months ago, this missing person case has only been in the hands of Volador's guards. Their detectives have been busy working around the clock trying to find any clues or leads. It wasn't until they made it to 50 missing people where I was finally notified. While I do not agree of this late notification, I can understand it. I do not have much nights to spare, even the nights that I have sent, which were mostly squires of mine. They were unable to do anything or locate any hard evidence or clues. As such, I am now asking you, adventurers, mercenaries, and civilians, to assist us. We don't know what's going on. There is no reports of any dead bodies. We haven't even found any corpse, as far as we know. As such, we want you to assist us in locating these people before it's too late. Whatever is going on, I believe that there is a chance." As he was about to continue his word, someone interrupts, saying, "How much do we get paid?" As other people look back, you can tell that is a hooded individual, roguish looking, as he's just leaning against a pillar, just listening. As Amek looks at him and goes, "I would advise asking question until the end of this briefing. But we have compiled together a large amount of rewards that will not only benefit you, but benefit any stores, if you will. You'll be giving discounts, you'll be giving free access to the castle, and enough gold coins to settle yourself for several months, assuming some of you will be out drinking or celebrating in your own terms." He says, collecting his composure, you could tell he's trying to be calm at this interruption. And he goes, "Well, I understand some of you would probably want to do this for the rewards. And a lot of you would do it for the experience. There will be tons of experience for you to have, as well as the ability to be known to the city. With that, he continues to talk. While he's talking, while he's speaking, answering to that roguish fellow from behind, does anybody want to do anything while he's talking, or want to give any sort of reaction?
Well,
I would raise my hand.
Um, so Rudy, the next time I'm gonna have you, I'm gonna need you to tell me that in here. Uh, so like that, it could be something that the viewers can see also in the streaming. All right.
All right, sorry about
But
that.
don't worry, don't worry. Do you still want to do it?
Indeed.
All right. Let role play out what you're doing so that we can all be aware. And then you said you already rolled.
Indeed, a 9. So, my Rudovic tries to, you know, sneakily try to open Beara's bag and, take a few berries, but it it probably doesn't go that well.
With that, Bera, I'm gonna need you to roll for perception. Since it's player versus it's gonna be a player versus player thing.
Perception.
So
Okay, hold on.
perception, yes.
Oh, sweet, a nat 1.
Wait, there's no plus or anything?
No plus. Just a complete nat 1.
Wow. So you're distracted by what's going on between the leader of the White Knight and you're focused on between the two, looking back, forth, back, forth, back, and forth, to where Rudy goes and is going to your package, and you can feel it where you look back and you see his hand. You don't see his hand there, but you could assume that he was just adjusting your pouch a bit, where you just look at him and do you like thank him for quote unquote adjusting your pouch?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Sometimes my rabbit moves around in my pack and messes things up for me.
As,
Oh, that's quite nice. Animals are so silly.
as you say that, you turn back around, focusing on Sir Amic and the roguish fellow. How many do you try to steal, Rudy?
Like a handful. If the berries are like strawberry size, so like 3.
Alright, so then, yeah, how many berries would you have? Let's say some strawberries.
Strawberries specifically, probably like 10.
So you go to grab a handful, you grab at least 5, but one slips out of you, so you just have 4 in your hand right now. And as Bera blamed the rabbit for rummaging around, the rabbit looks at her and just, with his paw, wah, smacks her across the face.
Rude, Ogle. Rude.
They
I
just,
kind of chuckle like,
they just look at you as you say rude and just shake their head and just stays in the bundle of the coat. During that, Sir Amic goes, anyway, before, as I said, leave any question till the end. We do not have much information about who the kidnapper is. All we know is that the kidnappers have been doing this since the first missing person, at least according to theories. If you agree to help, we just need you to head over to the guard's office and continue to try to work with them, or you can go out the city and investigate on your own. As he's about to continue, a lot of the adventurers there starts leaving, rushing to the city, wanting to be the first to finish this case, to have fame and glory and the reward for themselves. The rest of you stay behind, seeing them run as Amex is just pinching the bridge of his nose, and before he looks over and sees you all still there, he goes, "Oh, well, it seems some of you have common sense. Thank you," he says as he goes. I require you all to please go on ahead and speak to Detective Alex. He is a detective that you will need to speak to in order to be briefed more on what they know and what they have. Any questions before you leave?
Yeah, I'd raise my hand to try to get his attention.
Yes. Your name?
I'm Barrowinkin. And by the way you're standing and speaking, you look very, very stressed. Like you might even have had a headache recently. And wouldn't you have it? I just have some whiteberry juice that is said to calm nerves. I
Then we'll
could
just
give it to you for 5 gold coins.
Abel just kind of shakes his head, just very much seeing this for what it was.
As you say that, Bear, go ahead and roll for persuasion with advantage, because lucky for you, this man does have a headache.
24.
Ooh. He
God
looks
damn.
over to you and he rubs his head a bit, now at his temple of his skull, and goes, well, you are correct, I do have a headache. I suppose I could get some medication, but not now. Let me finish to see if anyone else has any other questions before you depart and I get some medicine. As he sees no one answers or has any questions, he nods and goes, one last thing. I wish for you to meet Sir Asumi and his partner, Thimble. Sir Asumi is your authorized white knight. You can have them next to you and they will be helping you and assisting you, as well as you help and assist them on trying to solve this case. Asumi, you may go and go with them whenever you're ready. You too, Thimble. Good luck to both of you. And he goes on ahead, and now he walks towards Bera, which first focus here. He goes, so, how much for these white berries?
Each whiteberry juice is 5 gold. That's the most potent version.
Are you lying about the prices that they would be?
No, this is the price I offer everyone.
Alright. So he looks and he goes, 5 gold, huh? I suppose I could get some. Alright. He goes on ahead and he gets some pouches. And he goes through his gold pouch. Wow, my tongue. And he goes, alright. He hands you a total of 20 gold coins. And he goes, 4, please.
I rustle around in my bag and pull out 4 vials of white-looking liquid. And it's got a little tag on that says whiteberry juice. And I hand him 4 vials.
He grabs it. He looks over at it. Is there anything? So are these legit, or is there something? Or are they? What's the word? I guess I'm gonna make a pun here. Or is there any white lies about these vials?
Nope. Whiteberries are used in the finest crafting of super defense potions, and thus they have a great defense mechanism against headaches and physical ailments of the body.
Right. So he doesn't ask you that. He's just investigating that. Do you tell him that about? Yeah, but you could.
Yeah. I'll give him that sales pitch.
Yeah. So that good old presentation of a salesman that you learned from an old man in Vermont once. He looked and goes, yes, actually, I heard about that. White berries are good for making defense potions. So you managed to find a way to make them into like pain relievers. Okay, that's good. He goes and he takes a sip, and he waits a moment before he feels a bit more endurance. He goes, okay, and he starts walking back to inside the castle. Meanwhile, as Barra was giving a sale pitch to Sir Amic, Asumi walked up to the group of you, looking at Sir Amic and shaking their head a bit before going, Kazrik, it has been too long. How are you, my old friend? Sorry, was I heard or?
Were you talking to me?
Sorry, yeah. So assuming while Bera is talking to Amic and basically selling him, Asumi walked up to the group of you while looking at Sir Amic and just shaking his head a bit. He looks over to you, Kazrik, and Asumi goes, Kazrik, it's been so long, old friend. How are you?
Kazrik is going to like hand off or push off his barrel of dwarven ale to Rudovik. Hold this! As he then goes walking wide armed towards Asumi. It's been too long. Ich hab dir was mitgebracht, as he points towards the barrel.
He's typing.
By the way, that barrel is heavy. Like, a lot.
And I am strong.
Yeah, yeah, it would look heavy for anybody, but you being a dwarf, and it's not that big for you, but you're able to hold it with relative ease. As Asumi goes, oh, I assume you're here for a celebration. I guess you heard that I was promoted to a knight recently.
Ja, when this over, wir trinken drink all night. Yes? Rudovik, yes, it's a dwarven liquor in the barrel. Mind you, it's like at least 20 to 30 liters.
Asumi responds with, I would love to have a drink, but not now. Let us deal with the situation that we are having at this moment. Gimme, I will put the barrel in in the knight's quarter and have my name. Goddamn, I'm sorry. My name tagged on it so nobody can touch it. We can. He responds.
Wunderbar.
He responds. He also added, "We can celebrate at least when we finished speaking with the detective."
Wunderbar. Ich hab nothing better to do. Ich help. He puts the thumb up. I brought the server not for nothing. And you can see him kind of shrug, and you notice a warhammer on his shoulders. Right, not on his shoulders, like on his backpack, fixed to it.
He's typing. Yeah, like I said, he's mute, so he's typing, but he's a quick typer, so lucky for us.
No worries, I bought time. I can wait.
He's about 5'10" on height, so quick fingers. Give me one moment. Whew. I'm about to sneeze here. Alright, so he typed saying, well, yes, once we finish everything, we have to go speak with Detective Alex, and then once we have the information, we can come back here. Actually, I am gonna come back here to speak with Sir Amic to see if we can borrow a room, because obviously this investigation might take days. As you say that, you look back. Yeah, Sir Amic is gone. He entered the castle. So you know that if you go up to talk to him now, he might be busy. Um, but yeah. So do you hand him the barrel, Kazric?
Well, currently the barrel is in the hands of Rudovik. I push it off to him for 2 seconds to talk to Azumi.
Alright, so as you
So-
go on ahead and go to give him the barrel.
No, no, no. I can. Hey, do you want this back?
Yes.
It's a large barrel.
Take it. I like hold it above him, like, just like when you have someone smaller than you and you want to piss them off, you hold something above them so they cannot reach it. I do that.
I would like to try to kick him against the shin.
Damn.
You believe you're the first one to do that to a dwarf, boy?
No, but it's still gonna be funny.
It's gonna be funny when you get your shins kicked in.
Anyway, as you go to give Asumi the barrel, Asumi holds it over his shoulder and goes, "Alright, I'll keep this safe. We come back, we have a few drink." With that, Rudy, if you do want to still try to steal the barrel later, you do look to see where Asumi takes it, and you see Asumi takes it to, as he opens the door, a large door which he opens and you see is a guard's barrack, obviously where he sleeps, and he puts it right in front of his bed, and he grabs like a large brush, and you said you wanted to put your name on the barrel, right? Yes, okay. So he puts his name on the barrel to let people know that that's his. And then he walks out, closing the door. What else do you want to do?
Gonna have to remember that.
You will remember that. Anything else you want to do, Asumi? He says that he walks back and he goes, "Alright, let us introduce ourselves first. As you heard, Sir Amic, I am Sir Asumi, a member of the White Knight. I am a relatively new White Knight, just promoted. And hold up, wait. He put direct rank name here, so give me a moment so I can find the name of the rank. Okay, is initiate. So he is an initiate White Knight, which shows on his sleeves, which has which is painted red, reddish, brownish color. So he looks over to you guys to see who wish to introduce themselves next. Oh, sorry, he made an edit. Sorry. He also gestures to Thimbles and goes, "This is my cousin. We're adopted. He's my adopted cousin. He is Thimble."
Thimble tips his hat.
So now he waits for whoever wishes to introduce themselves.
Well, I am Rudovic. You can call me Rudy or Ruda. Depends on your preference, I guess. And nice to meet you all.
Anybody else wish to introduce themselves to the group? I believe Barra, you were known by name, but probably not to the group completely. Do you want to give your...
Yeah, hello everyone. I am Barrowinkin, and I'm a berry alchemist. So if you have any ailments that are ailing you, Just let me know.
A what?
A berry alchemist. As a fellow gnome, I assume you are. You must know about berry alchemists.
Gonna be completely honest with you, that sounds fake as hell.
No.
Yes.
Thimble, if you want, roll for. I would say roll for history to see if you just to make sure you're accurate on on calling them out on being fake.
12, but even if he's not accurate, he's probably gonna still just be to do it via contrarian.
So with 12, you know that there are herbalists that make potions. Heck, your aunt Anju is one of them that makes potions and herbs using berries. But an alchemist, a berry alchemist, is something you never heard before, and it sounds like a self-title. Almost reminding you of that one zombie uncle that is twice removed from the family group.
Yeah, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. If you Barry or whatever your name is, no, I don't think your profession is entirely that valid. So, save the sales pitch for someone else.
That's perfectly fine. You see, I grew up hard on the farm, only eating ogle roots, never knowing the sweet taste of berries, and I guess neither will you.
What a shame.
I sulk back into the crowd.
Assuming
Into the group.
response with, well, our aunt actually gives us berries, and our uncle Steve made berry flavored pies one time.
Yeah, that was a good pie.
Pies are good use of berries. But of course, potions are even better. If you're needing anything there,
Alright.
Asumi.
Kazaring is going to puff off his chest a little bit and go like, Ich, Kazarik, Schwurhammer, Oathammer, kommen. You must know, kommen ich nicht gut, not good. Aber reading and sprechen, reading and zuhören, okay. He also is going to make a little crack with his gauntlets. And he's also going to take off his backpack and point at his cooking utensils. I am great cook, warrior of Blackwatch, lover of tall women. That's all you know.
He nods, assuming nods as he goes. I am glad we all got to introduce each other. And there we go. We have one of the players that got here. Hold up. Alright, I need to put you in the thing. Hold on, give me a moment. You will have your introduction in a minute. Just give me a moment. He just wanders in, yeah. So, you guys see a someone who comes in a little late than usual, who just walks in and just looks around for a moment, a bit confused at where everybody went and why there is why is there just one person right now? Not one person. Why is there a orc-looking fellow right there? And if Luke, you could get the feeling that you're a little late. Having traveled from city to city, you came came to the castle of Volador because you wanted to assist in the missing person case. But you were too late for the briefing. What do you say? And introduce your character by name and appearance, as well as what they say as they arrive there. Luke, you there?
I'm sorry, what? I just woke up. You said introduce myself with name.
Yeah, no problem. You just woke up. Yeah, so introduce your character by name, like your character's name and appearance, and what do they do as they see that they can see that they are a little late to the briefing.
The name's Luke Raven, and it looks like I'm right on time. My time. You'd be a dude that's about, what, 6'7", 6'8". He'd have like a great sword on his back, leaning one direction off to like the right, or no, the left, and then a spear would be on his back. He'd be wearing like Varrock guard armor. He has a pair of cool black shades with little yellow tips on the ends of the ear arms, I guess. And yeah, he'd have some light stubble on his face, and I thought, yeah, sure, hinges, yeah. And he has like a blonde, like short hair on the top, and then it's just shaved around sides and back.
As you walk in, Asumi responds with, "Oh, so you must be someone wishing to assist with the missing person case. You're a little late for the briefing, but welcome. I am Asumi, Initiative White Knight, and your authorized White Knight for the case. Basically, we're going to see Detective Alex now to be able to find out more about the missing person case. Supposedly, there are more than 100 people missing."
Wow. Damn. Well, good thing we take a census. Otherwise, we wouldn't know how many are gone. Where do we find this guy?
"Follow me, I can take you to him," he says, and the rest of you start heading outside of the castle. Give me one moment to add Luke, to add your character on my stream. My Twitch is on the link below, so you can follow and also see. I am going to be posting this, so give me one quick minute.
I guess Thimble just kind of looks Luke over a bit and then whispers to Asumi, so who invited this guy?
He's typing right now. Asumi responds with a shrug, showing that he doesn't know, with a whisper in response going, "He does seem to have a Varrock armor on him. Perhaps he's a retired guard?"
Then why the hell is he still wearing it? Shouldn't he have, like, gave it back to the guards themselves?
He responds with, "Good question. Although I remember hearing about Bereth wearing the armor still. He gets up and he looks over to you, Luke, and Asumi asks, question, you seem to have the Varrock guard armor. Are you retired, or are you still a member of the military of Varrock?
No, I left because they couldn't handle my brash tactics.
Your what?
My brash tactics.
Which include what?
Being an equal opportunity ass kicker.
Alright. That's... What?
Exactly.
Asumi just nods for a moment and go, well, I suppose we could say that if we ever need someone to be an equal opportunist to justice, he's our guy.
I guess, but...
I walk up to Luke and I go, "Hi, Farrah Winkins here." And I see your brass tactics. You must be one who works out a lot. See, I got these Calferberries juice. It's perfect for pre and post workouts to increase your brass tactics skills. It's 5 gold a pop.
I think you mean brash, but sounds interesting. I'm in. And he'll give you 5 gold.
I'll pull out a little vial. It's got like a yellowish, orangish liquid inside of it, and it says Keflerberry juice on it. I hand it over. Make sure to take this right before or after a workout, and your brash tactics, my bad, will be increased.
Oh, thank you. Great pitch. Pleasure doing business with you. And he would, excuse me, he would take the vial and you would, put it in somewhere.
Asumi says that he just shake their head as he's hearing Bera starting to sell to another customer, just sighing for a moment as he continued to lead the group as you guys are now going over the bridge. As you can see, the snowy town of Falador, it is still, I would say, I never gave them time actually, that is my fault, but it would be around afternoon. And you could see that the afternoon sun is at least giving you a nice ray of warmth. It isn't cloudy. In fact, there is no cloud on sight, which gives the cold wind. But the rays of the sun at least gives you the nice warmth feeling of the winter. And you could see that the Christmas decorations are still let alone in the city. Obviously, nobody wants to bring it down yet. It still brings a nice festive joy and warmth feeling about it. As Asumi goes and continues to lead you to the guards HQ. About a good 10 minutes in, you make it to the guards HQ as you walk in, and the clerk looks over. She goes, "Hello, well, Sir Knight." She gets up and she salutes. "Oh, welcome. Is there anything we can help you with?" That is directed to you, Asumi. Just making sure you know, since you're the White Knight. Asumi typed in, "At ease. I am here to speak with Detective Alex. I believe they are the one in charge of the missing person cases. Yes? Which the receptionist goes, of course. Yes, Detective Alex is just around the corner over there. She goes on ahead and she gestures over to the hall on her left, and she goes, is the office all the way in the end to the right? He should be in there. Assuming he responds with thank you and continues on, before looking at you, assuming, not you, so sorry, Thimble, before looking at you, Thimble, and goes, it's been a while since we've been here. When was the last time we came to the headquarters?
Pretty sure it was when you had to convince them to let me out.
Oh yes, I remember. I had to get Uncle Mustima involved.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. And all that for stealing a loaf of bread.
As you all are hearing this, Asumi responds with something that Mustima managed to convince them that you're innocent of. Apparently, the evidence never existed.
Almost as if I'm good at my job.
As you say that, one of the guards look at you, Thimble, and that was the guard that had arrested you and turned you in, and they're just eyeing you, just looking at you directly as they're like, I got my eye on you, you little thief.
Thimble finger guns him.
As you're walking down the hall, you can see a lot of office with a lot of detectives. And finally, you make it to the last door, which you see is Detective Alex. Assuming, do you open? Do you knock? What do you do? Assuming says he knocks on the door and go, Detective Alex, this is White Knight Sir Asumi. Are you there? Can we come in? To which you hear, Aye, of course, come in, come in. As you do, as you enter to the room, you see him there sitting down with a bottle of scotch. Clearly, he's tipsy. And he goes, oh, you're not, I thought you were. He puts the scotch away and everything. He goes, let me guess, your help from the castle themselves, yes? Here to help me with this pile of case. He gestures over to, what you all can see is his entire office is filled with files and files and files. A lot of them having portraits of people that are missing. And next to his desk is of several piles that literally reaches almost to the detective's height while he's sitting down. And it's just unsolved. And he goes, you're helping me with that, yes?
Yeah, hells, this is a lot of shit, man. Thimble grabs one of the open files and starts flipping through it.
You see a lot of those open, you flip through the open files. Do any of you do the same thing, start looking through the open files, or do you just wait until you're debriefed?
Since Kazarik isn't really the one good at reading common, he's just going to try if anything catches his eye, like something special about the pictures of the missing people in general, like an outliner, somebody specific, for example, like a really religious person that's like a known zealot or something that might be of interest, or something else, or if he can just spot a pattern in the pictures of the disappearing persons.
All right. So, as anybody else?
Yeah, Ludovic also tries to look through, see a pattern.
But, what about you, Luke? Would you like to also look through the files?
A bunch of paperwork and reading. Reminds me of the tower. I think I'll leave this all to you. And you look at Thimble as he picks up his stuff to look at it, or as he picks up the stuff to read it over the files. What have you?
The tower? What? You're telling me you were a wizard?
I'm sorry. Does it not look like I'm a majestic wizard?
Frankly, you could have fooled me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think anybody could have fooled you.
Alright, I'm starting not to like you that much.
Don't
Just
hate
gonna-
me because I'm beautiful.
I'm gonna hate you because you're getting on my nerves.
You can hear Metal Gauntlet slap a dwarven face.
As you guys are like about to give each other banter, Asumi goes, anyway, Detective Alex, yes, first of all, I hope you're not drunk on the job. Which Alex goes, of course not, no, perhaps a bit tipsy, but come on, can you blame me? He gestures around at the file. Thimble, while you're looking through the files and listening to Luke, and we're sort of giving Luke a banter, you notice something in the file that made you look into another one, and another one, and another one, at least up to 3, to where you realize something. Most of these missing people are just either middle class or poor citizens. They're not nobles, they're not rich, they're just regular citizens. Which makes you think, is anybody in these missing case important enough that eventually one of them that was important got kidnapped, that finally caused the White Knight to need to intervene? Or could it be that the number is high enough for this? As you're thinking through this, Detective Alex continues with, recently, we've been hitting basically a brick wall. All we know, we've been finding out that the kidnapping happened somewhere between 8 to 9 at night, during the darkness, in the alleyway. One witness assumes that they saw a kidnapping. Supposedly is because they were being lured. The last kidnapped person was a kid. He starts looking through his files real quick, and he goes, fuck, where is it? Which he finds, and he goes, this one. And he puts it on the table for all of you to see, and he opens it. And you see it. This is a missing person of a noble. Which Thimble probably does, provide some evidence to your theory. Or at least the theory that your mind, the back of your head, is giving you. A noble got kidnapped. Is he the only one? Anybody has any question before he continues?
I asked the detective, sir, why didn't the White Knights intervene before? Like, from what I remember, the other guy saying it was the White Knights started taking care of this after like 15 people went missing, which is a big number, but they could have tried to do something even before.
Assuming also said, yes, it has my companion here said, why is it that now the White Knights are helping? Did you not ask us before? Which Alex goes, listen, we assumed we could have solved this on our own. I know that you White Knights are busy, cleaning the underground city of Siniston after the war, and now you're here, I don't know, trying to make sure we're safe from the Zamrakian up north and protecting Saradomin's daughter. I mean, I'd assume you're busy as well. Besides, I did try. He looks around for a moment, to see if the door's closed, which it is, and he leans over and he goes, I tried telling the higher-ups to report to the White Knights, but because they weren't, he pointed at the kid, noble, I guess they didn't think that it was important enough for the city's brave, white, shiny armored folks to help. But on the end of the day, you're here now, and you're being you're assisting. Unless this is something else. What is this, the mercenary protocol? Which Asumi responded quickly, saying, yes. Which Detective Alex just goes, I'm gonna need another drink after this. Well, on any case, like I said, this kid went missing. The last witness that saw him missing gave us the appearance. We went to speak to their parents and they confirmed that this is what their kid looks like. He is a very wealthy noble. His father His father is a big investor of the artisan workshop. So obviously we need to help find this kid before his dad sinks money into very, very well and greatly geared up mercenaries. The next thing I need is some assassin running around the city and pulling a horrible vigilante attempt.
So basically, we're cleaning up the mess because no one thought it'd be a good idea to help investigate this sooner. Great. Okay. So, let's start. So, have you discovered any trends between any of the victims, or is it just mostly that the majority were just middle or lower class?
As you say that, as you ask that, he goes, ugh. Well, my years of detective work, I could say right now that this is all middle class, lower or middle class. The brat, professional, it's the liquor talking. I mean, he breathed in to try to compose himself to being more professional. And he goes, the kid was the only noble kidnapped, which I guess finally let my higher up officials, my bosses, to finally see this as a threat. The only link that I can find is that they have one connection, and that connection is being friends with a suspect that we questioned, but they did not give us any vital information. He goes and he puts down on a file of the suspect. He opens it up and he reads it out loud for you guys and goes, his name is John Williams. John is apparently a homeless man, a beggar, if you will. And every time anybody sees talking to him, there's a good chance that anybody who's connected with John when they're talking, they go missing. He claims it's a coincidence, but my gut is telling me something else.
Okay, but here's the question: how many homeless people does Falador have?
Go ahead and roll for history for that, Dimple. Since you live in Falador, obviously.
Natural 20 for 24.
Not bad. As you think that, you go, how many people? And your brain goes, oh, from counting, is less than Varrock, that's for sure. Varrock and Artigan. But if you were to give an estimate number from what you've experienced and the people you decided to be Robin Hood for several times, you know that there's at least a total of 15 to 20 homeless person.
Where does Mr. Williams usually set up shop to beg for money?
He's somewhere within the eastern side of Falador. It's not anywhere near the artisan workshop, but it's a little bit more north, close to the park. I don't know if he's in the park himself, but when we found him for questioning, we did find people pointing at him towards the park. So I can assume he likes to travel to the park and enjoy the view of the area.
Or maybe take a nap on one of the benches. Still,
Yeah. Well,
on their way through town.
any questions before you depart then? I'm sure you would have any questions that you would like to give. Asumi, sorry, I just saw that now. Asumi, I'm sorry. Asumi asked, has there been any clues to... has there been any clues at the crime scene? I assume you checked the alleys where they were reported. You said a witness saw someone possibly being kidnapped. Have you checked the alleyway? Alex goes, yeah, we have some guards over there checking. And I believe they didn't find anything at all. Almost as if they just vanished through thin air. Maybe, just maybe, I believe that they might have teleported.
His headphones died.
Asumi responds saying, teleported. That is a possibility. Leaves less of a mess for any type of struggle. After that, he looks over to the rest of you to see if any of you have any other questions.
Does every missing person in the whole collection of them, did they all talk to the homeless man?
According to some people that we question, some witnesses, a lot of them have seen these people that are missing now actually speak to the homeless man. The homeless man doesn't seem to lure them or anything, but it seems that whenever they talk to him, they end up missing the next day or so. So I would assume that maybe he's someone that targets them or alerts the people who to target next.
Interesting.
I do have a question for you, Mr. Detective. Or Alex, I believe your name is.
Yes, that's me, Detective Alex. You need something.
Yes. Well, it's less of what I need and what more you need, I believe. as I see you're here struggling with the drink, I imagine that you have pretty nasty hangovers afterwards.
I would say so. Maybe.
Well, I have the perfect product for you. Jangerberry juice. It's perfect for after drinking for hangovers. Its tangy appearance and taste really nullifies that stuff the next day. And it's only 5 gold coins per vial.
I'd be eyeing that pitch, and then I would interject. Here, you can have a free sample on me, and I would place the vial of it right in front of him, or attempt to hand it to him.
Well, that's actually Calferberry juice, which is good for working out. This is Jangerberry juice, good for what I said 2 seconds ago.
God damn it!
Detective Alex is looking at you, and then look at Luke, then back at you. Go ahead and roll for persuasion.
$15.
He looks at you and goes, well, I suppose they sound like a good idea. Tell me, how well do they work with hangover? Do they snap you out of it quickly? Or is it like, it quickens the speed of a hangover?
It warms the feeling. You understand? It corners those pains and troubles into a dark alley, so to speak.
Basically, if instead of hurting a lot, it hurts less.
Yes.
He nods and goes, I never thought I'd have some sale pitch from adventurers here willing to help.
Oh, I'm also a berry alchemist.
Alright. I'll take one then. I won't finish the whole thing, but at least I'm gonna need one now.
I'll hand him one. And if you're really stressed, I could throw in a white berry juice just for 2 extra gold.
I'll take it.
Perfect. I dish those 2 out and take, what's it, 7 gold from him? Yeah.
He goes on ahead and just, clearly being tipsy, he's trying to count. And you can tell he's not counting all too well. That you can see that he's paying you 10 times more than what he's supposed to pay you. As he's now recounting to make sure.
Thimble's just in the corner, just...
Now you sound too low, Thimble.
Give me a second.
Yeah, low.
You are very quiet.
For any viewers at home, once they see the uploaded version of this, Thimble is known to have bad connection with audio. He's cursed.
Unfortunately. Is that better?
He
Nope.
gave me more
No.
money than I asked for? Is that
Yeah,
what you
you're
said?
still low. You're still low, my friend.
Make sure it's the right input device.
I think it might be the audio port again. But, give me a minute because I'm about to sneeze.
Gesundheit.
Nope, never mind. I sneezed. Whew. Alright, sorry. So, sneezing again. Testing, you said Thimble's still not working.
I checked the setting, it's at max.
No, still can't hear you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you had this problem last time, too. Seems random.
Yeah, I think the audio port's fucked.
That was the problem with my laptop.
Alright.
You could I don't know if you have your phone. You could switch to that and use the headphones in that. That's what I was doing when
Oh,
my
that's
laptop
good.
was messed up.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, we're giving Thimpo a minute so he could be able to do his thing. But while that's happening, Asumi
Yeah,
said,
that'll.
Bera, when as you're seeing that the man is about to pay you at least 20 gold coins, Asumi steps in and goes, "Oh, Alex, you're paying a little bit more. Here, let me help." Which Alex goes, "Oh, thank you, my friend, thank you." So Asumi goes on ahead and returns the money that the man was about to pay with, and just gives Bera the amount that he was meant to pay you.
Oh, you can't see my eyes or face. I'm just staring at Asumi, and you can feel that I'm a little upset that he intervened with that.
What is
Uh,
your initial reaction to that, Asumi? Left brow rises, just looking at Bera, like almost feeling that dagger eyes, imprintment of her eyes just searing into him, where she just looks back at Alex and just nods at them. Alex goes, "All right, I'm gonna try one of this now, you know." He goes and takes a zip and he goes, "Whoop! That packs a punch, actually. Ooh, ooh, almost waking me up. I could feel it." Anyway,
During this whole conversation, those of you who had to look at Keswick, you can see his face going from concert at seeing all that gold at the table to more calm and a bit grateful expression looking at Azami as he steps in to not get the person of the law being completely butchered out of his coin. Apart from that, he does not raise a comment.
Already a goody two shoes.
What do you mean?
assuming
That was the exactly like the correct amount.
Oh yeah, no, of course that's right.
Asumi nods and goes, "It is part of my duty as a white knight. My code of honor has me to ensure the truth is revealed."
Yeah, your guys' code of honor is a bunch of dog shit, actually. Fucking didn't even step in before the kidnappings got out of hand.
In their defense, how are they supposed to step in on something they don't even know about? The people that this guy seems to work for seem to be rather classist.
Yeah, a bunch of bureaucratic bullshit.
Asumi responds to you, Rudy, and goes, "I agree with you there. It is bullshit. I can only assume that the White Knights were not asked for assistance because of the fact that they saw this as a more of a lower class rubbish. But still, now that we're here to help, we can focus. Now we have a suspect, the homeless man. Perhaps Mr. Williams could be very insightful for us. Shall we check with them, or should we go to the crime scene where the latest kidnapping happened?"
We should probably go to the William guy.
You can see Keswick raise his voice. Rather, all not. One, vielleicht two. Group very suspicious. As he fumbles through his words, trying to at least be somewhat understandable and common.
Um, So Detective Alex goes on ahead and is just trying to organize his cleaning area a bit. As you guys are talking among yourselves, do you guys talk and walk? Like you walk out of the office and continue talking, or do you stay there trying to talk?
Let's go a bit faster. Try to keep up, kleiner Mann. I say that to Kazrik.
You get kicked in the shins again.
Not if I'm faster than you.
Hold on. Welcome back, Dimple. Let's hear your voice.
Hello there.
There
One
you go.
knows.
Yeah, I might need to look into finding this USB from audio port converter thing that I used to use. See if that works and fixes the issue. Otherwise, I might need to get a USB mic.
Did you not have an Xbox controller?
I do, but like, it's just a whole thing. I didn't have time to get it set up and whatnot.
Sure you don't go too fast, Rudy. About half of your party is very short.
You will catch up eventually.
Regarding me to try to kick Rudovic's shins. Well, not shins. What's the name? Like the thing below the knee, above the foot.
So what is it?
Chin, that's right.
Shins. Yeah, then that's the correct word. I would like to kick Rudovic against one of his shins with my metal boot for calling me
Yeah, go.
something rather insulting and Jewish.
Yeah, so you can go on ahead and go ahead and if you want to kick him there, do you kick him hard or just enough to like a discipline hit?
Right, like a scolding parent. Not something that causes actually hit point damage, but something that hurts a bit.
All right, yeah, you could go on ahead and roll for it. Roll for unharmed strike. What was that?
Thimble, meanwhile,
yeah.
is just kind of
Oh,
shaking
that
his head at this.
hits. And I use my reaction deflect attack to basically like move my foot around, so move my leg back as he like kicks me to reduce the hurting of it even further. To basically not feel a thing.
Yeah, you feel the kick and you're like, it's not really that hurtful. If what you explained to me is that you're not trying to hurt him, but just more sting him. So you don't take that much damage, but you know you're gonna feel that for a little bit. You can still walk normal and everything, but it's gonna irritate you a bit.
It's gonna be annoying for the next few steps.
Luke looks to Thimble and kind of says out the side of his mouth, "Have they been like this all day?"
Yeah, but kind of on and off, honestly.
Alright. So as you are walking out of the guard station, you so what did you guys decide to do? Are you heading to speak with John Williams, a homeless person, or to the crime scene where the latest kidnapping happened?
Kazarek is for speaking to John Williams, but not in the entire group. That would be too obvious. Maybe one, maybe two people at most.
All right. So, do the rest of you agree?
I'd say we should probably send our best speaker or negotiator or what have you.
I might have a smooth tongue. I mean,
Thimble.
silver tongue.
Thimble. You short man. You look kind of charismatic, mate. You should go talk to the William guy.
I no one
Kazarek
else
is going
wants
to add helpful. You know, look, Fred.
Fine. I guess I'll do it. But if I end up becoming another statistic, I'm gonna blame you. And regardless of where I end up, I will come back.
A whole
Counting
week of
on
Take
it.
Barrow with you.
Sumi says, I'm sure you'll be fine, Dimple. Just remember remember what we talked about. He gives you the knowingly smirk about your certain secret code.
Yep, don't worry. Assuming I remember.
Yeah, you should let me join you. I do have a way with words, you know.
I'm not gonna let you scam the homeless man.
Scam him. We need information. It's
Yeah, and
like
you're
the
gonna
same
offer
thing,
him
but-
like a potion or a berry juice that's gonna cure his homelessness or something. I'm kind of thinking
I
that.
don't have one that does that, but I could give him some food.
Would it
Keswick
be
is
for
going to.
free?
We get information, Barrow gives them food. Sounds like a win-win and a good bargaining tool.
Keswick is going to hand a small. What's the name? A small oil flask to Timber. Problem set fire.
Is this a thing of oil?
Oil flask. Yeah.
What he means to say is, if there's a problem, set the homeless man on fire.
I'm not gonna
Set problem on fire.
Alright, I'll say
you
this
have
for not the homeless
burnt
person. Got it.
Asumi is just looking at all of you, concerned on what he got himself into with Dimple.
Alright, I'm gonna go talk to the homeless man. No one kill him.
I would follow behind. I would pull out a giant, big old algal root, which kind of is like a purplish, radish looking thing, and just follow behind Thimble.
Anybody else joining Dimple and Vera?
Well, I'm going to stay behind, but Keswick is going to lean to Luke. Why he think we want to kill homeless man?
I don't know, he weird.
I don't know. It seems like Rudovic was pretty straightforward on setting him on fire.
That's
I
not
am
what I
sorry,
said.
I am sorry, my Dwarvish isn't as good as it used to be, you know? I'm not the best translator for this kleine Altmann.
Asumi goes, aside from that being horrible, I would have to say no to your testing. So I suppose the four of us will go on ahead and investigate the crime scene. See if maybe we can find something useful that the guards might have missed.
Sounds good. Lead the way.
Keswick is going to nod. Then he's going to point to Rudovic. He's going to take out a small treat. Because I'm a chef, I have treats. Because bad reinforcement nicht funktionieren, du get sweet, wenn du gut be.
I don't want your food. It's probably gonna be too much spices because you dwarves put too much stuff on everything.
Keswick is going to shrug, take a bit of the treat himself, then holds the hand to Luke and Azami if they want some. If not, he's going to eat the rest of it.
Looks good. But I think I'll pass this time.
Asumi responds with, "Oh, thank you, my friend, but I actually ate before I got into the city. Perhaps you could save some for me for later. A snack is probably something we're going to need sometime soon."
But I'm going to get myself 3 temporary hit points on that
Alright,
for the next 8 hours.
alright, so we're gonna split up the party, which first session you guys already made one mistake in the common sense of D&D.
That rule is overrated.
But jokes aside, yeah, so We'll focus on Thimble and Bearer first, since they are the smallest group here. No pun intended on that.
I'm going to kill you in your sleep, David.
I love you too, my friend. Anyway.
Wait, I missed the pun. What?
Anyway,
I
so
said I was going to kill him in his sleep. It wasn't really a pun.
Oh.
Was a promise.
alright.
Look, he said on the smaller group.
Got him.
On the tiny group. Alright. So, Thimble and Barrow, you both are walking to the direction of the park. Obviously following Thimble, who knows the city better. As you're heading towards the park to see if you can find Mr. Williams, you look around and you see that there's a lot of kids running around the park. Fun little kids. Building snowman, playing with snowballs. Luckily for you, no one is going to confuse you guys to kids. Because aside from gnomes being taller than an average child, your years gives it away. So, no one seems to bat any eyes to the two of you. Give me 1 minute to check something.
I'm back.
Somebody catch them up real quick.
We're in the park, and no one's going to confuse us for children.
I
Because
wouldn't expect them
racism.
to.
Dimple, with your passive perception, you spot a homeless man in the park sitting down and speaking to what appears to be a woman in her early 20s. Looking at her winter attire, she doesn't seem like a nobles person. Because obviously, you've met nobles in the winter. They like to flaunt their wealth through their outfit. But you can see Mr. Williams speaking to her. What do you guys do?
Thimble's going to motion for Barra to hang back a bit, and he's going to try and sneak over through some bushes to try and eavesdrop on their conversation.
I would hold my position and let them do that.
I'm sorry, Baron. What were you trying to say? What did he say?
I'm holding my position. Let them go sneak.
Alright. So you're just looking around them. You see Thimble gesture towards Mr. Williams. And then Thimble, real quick, roll for a stealth check for me.
20.
As you look over and then you look over to see where Thimble is, he's gone. You try to look around, but your passive perception doesn't seem to let you find him. But you trust, at least you trust them enough that they can go and get the job done. Thimble, you're moving from bushes to bushes, snow walls, behind some adults, grown-ups, human, behind some bench, and eventually you get close enough to be behind a tree. To what you try to eavesdrop in the conversation, which, give me a moment, your passive perception, what is it again?
17.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. You're listening to the conversation, and you hear, thank you so much, lady. Madam, forgive me. My manner. Thank you so much. This loaf of bread will be delicious for me. And it's warm too. It'll definitely keep my innards very warm. To which the woman responds with, of course, I know how it means to struggle. Honestly, with a lot of that is happening in the cities nowadays, I'm just afraid that even someone like you might get kidnapped. To which Mr. William responds with, "Oh, nonsense. Nobody's gonna kidnap me. I mean, I doubt they'll kidnap you too. I'm sure you're someone well known to the community, yes?" "Oh no, I'm not. I just work at I work as an assistant to a butcher shop. That's it. I just hope to put stuff on display and then put prices on. Nothing more." "Really? A young woman like you? No recognition? Oh, that sounds horrible." To which she responds, "Oh yes, I know. But there's nothing that I wouldn't do for the shop. The butchers and I are really great friends. Henry, best person in the world. Sometimes I take him, I bring him from. I would usually bring him some bakery stuff from Baker Steve, the one that is down on the center of Falador. He makes amazing food." Mr. William goes, "I see. Well, I'm sure you have a husband or a boyfriend, huh? Someone who really looks up to you and helps you out?" "Oh no, I'm single. I'm single. And before you ask, my parents are out of town. They're still on their little holiday vacation. Honeymoon. My dad proposed to her about a few days ago." "Oh, I see, I see. Well, you know, it may be late for Christmas, but I got something for everyone who treats me well." He goes on ahead and he rummaged through his bags before giving her a bracelet. "A friendship bracelet. This will determine that we are friends now." And she looks at it and she puts it on, and it's a brass bracelet. It's not that fancy, but you could tell that effort was put into it. And she smiles. She goes, "Thank you. It looks really nice, John. You know, why don't you come by to the butcher shop? I can pay for some beef jerky for you if you want." "Oh no. I'm perfectly fine. I mean, I would love a good beef jerky, but I don't think I want to eat any at the moment. Anytime I eat meat now, I've been eating meat, nothing but meat for the past few days. You know, people just throw away meat in the trash, perfectly good meat like turkey legs and stuff. So I end up eating bread." As they continue to talk, assuming. Sorry, wow, I really need to stop confusing the two of you. Thimble! Short man! Thimble! As they continue to talk, your passive perception once again catches something. You could see one of his hands goes behind the bench, like he basically leans on the bench, back on the bench a bit, having his arms behind the bench. And you can see his hand makes a gesture. His finger makes a gesture. A roll for Arcana for me.
9.
You don't know what this gesture is, but you do see a faint glow on his finger. Clearly, he's casting a spell. While your passive perception, you can hear a sort of mumble through his word. You don't know what he did, but you you do know that he did cast something. After that, the woman goes, well, I have to go. I have to go to work in about an hour, and usually I like to clean the floor and wipe the glass before work. I'll see you soon, John, okay? John goes, of course. Be safe, little girl. Hopefully you're not next on the target. She goes, oh, please. Me, next? I'm not that important. Which John is just looking at her, nodding as she walks away.
All right. I would like to sneak out of the bushes and follow the lady.
Alright? Do you, still remain stealthy, or do you just...
I remain stealthy enough that John doesn't notice me following her, but once out of sight, probably being, just stealthy enough that the lady doesn't notice me following her.
Alright. Roll for stealth again.
While he does that too, I'd like to go up and talk to John.
Alright, I got a 23.
Alright. So with the 23, John doesn't notice you at all. Instead, he's just looking around, watching the kids play in the park, watching some couples ice skate on the pond under the bridge, and he's just eating his loaf of bread, which you see has some steam coming out of it, indicating that it's not too hot, but it's warm enough that the steam will come out of the cold or air. So, Thimble, as you're following her, so far things seems normal, and she doesn't notice you either, but she is walking outside the gate. After that, Vera, you walk up to John. What do you say?
Or I walk up to him and I go, hello there. Do you need some food? You look to be out here all alone.
He looks at you as you ask that, and he's eating his bread. And he goes, well, I have bread. If you're willing to give me some more food, then please go on ahead. The more the better. At least I could have something for dinner later today.
I show him the ogle root and slowly hand it to him. I assume an ogle root either tastes like a turnip or a radish. So that's the equivalent.
Well, thank you. I guess some vegetable will suit me then. He says, putting it on the side for safekeeping.
Yeah, back on my nobody farm, we used to feed it to use it as a deterrent for rabbits.
Rabbits? Ah, cute creatures, yes. He looks over to you and he notices bunny ears stick out of your jacket before it pops up. Just clearly, the word rabbit just made it look around. Like, you have a pet rabbit, adorable. What's their name?
Their name is Ogle, just like the root. He's the only rabbit I've ever met that actually likes eating ogle root, which is why I have some.
Oh, interesting. So, what's your name? My name is John Williams.
My name is Bera, and I'm just a farmer.
A farmer? Huh.
Yeah, farmhand. One of many.
Is it the one south of Falador?
It's little known. I'm not even sure many people in this town know about it.
I probably don't either. So what brings you here to Falador? You don't look like you're from around here.
No, I had a falling out with my family, so I decided to start a new life where no one knows me.
Really? Oh, that must be so lonely. Go ahead and roll for insight, Vera.
Okay, hold on. 19.
You could tell that he's trying to be sympathetic, but you piqued his interest also. Where he goes, well, that sounds horrible. But a fresh new start, as they say, is always a good way to bring things around. So how long have you tried to do this fresh start of yours?
Oh, I just got into town today, actually. I think you're probably like the first person I've met.
Oh, well, I am honored. I know. As a celebration, a token for not only my gratitude, but to this, hopefully you would agree with me if I say newfound friendship. I have a gift for you, he says as he rummaged through his pocket and pulls out another brass friendship thing. And he goes,
Is that for me?
of course, let this be a sign that we're friends. A way to determine your new profound freedom and fresh start.
This is the first gift I've ever gotten in my life. Thank you. I would take it and put it on.
He smirks and he goes, well, I am glad I was the first one to give you a gift. He says as he's eating his bread. He leans his hand back and then does what he did with Dimple before. But you don't notice this. But do roll for perception for me real quick.
Okay, 1 second. 16.
So you do notice the movement on his right hand doing something. From your experience, that means he's probably trying to conjure something. So you know he's conjuring a spell. And from the distance, he almost did. You could have sworn he did the same thing to that lady that Dimple is. You assume Dimple is following. And he goes, so what are your plans now?
Well, I think I'm just gonna go on to the outskirts of town to sleep tonight. Somewhere where the guards don't really see me. I don't like being watched when I sleep.
Oh, bad experience.
Yeah, in my experience, strangers are much nicer than guards.
Tell me about it. I was once kicked in, almost lost all my teeth, all because I asked a guard for food. And now, well, luckily my teeth are intact because I knew a perfect doctor. They managed to get all my teeth and checked.
That's good luck. Just like me meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too, Bara. And the rabbit also. Adorable. Take care, and I hope to see you soon.
Will do. I'd leave and start making my way back to the group.
Alright. Meanwhile, Thimble is following her. As you finally leave the park and out of sight, you see that she's heading towards the butcher shop. You continue to follow her. With your passive perception, you look around and everything is clear. She's not being followed or anything. So the only thing that you can think of is he marking people? Or is this a method or is this like a strategy of his where he marks them and then wait a few days? Just like Detective Alex said that they usually end up missing. People that speak with him go missing the next day or so.
Thimble thinks it over for a moment, then decides to continue just following her to at least know where the butcher shop is.
As you continue to follow her, you finally see her make it to the western side. The eastern side of Falador, where you could see the Christmas tree still there. And you see she enters the butcher shop, where she walks in and as you're looking them, as you decide to look through the window, if you decide to look through the window, sorry, you see her start cleaning the floor by sweeping it and everything, and sweeping stuff out of the shop itself, where you can see a lot of stray animals like dogs, cats, and basically just sit there waiting for her to sweep out some fats from meats.
Alright. Thimble logs the information of where the butcher shop is, and then starts heading back to the others, since the next part of his master plan might require a little help.
Alright. As you go back, you and Vera bump into each other as she was leaving the park and you were leaving the area.
I take it you got a chance to talk to John then?
Oh yeah, he's definitely a scammer. He fell for easiest scam bait. I show him my wrist that I have one of the bracelets on.
I'm gonna need to see that bracelet when you have a chance.
I figured Luke could take a look at it. He said he was a mage, right?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Because I think John was casting a spell or something to keep track of the lady. I figured out where she works,
figured
so...
so.
Yeah, I figured out where she works so we can go there after we're done.
That's a good plan. Good job there, Thimble.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little surprised people just are not finding any of his questions, like, really suspicious. Like, I mean, who asks stuff like, oh, will anyone miss you if you're gone? Like, that's just a bit of a red flag.
I'm starting to think that these people in this town aren't very smart.
Might be something in the water.
Could be. Very, very
Welcome to Two
easy
Fort,
to
everyone.
point it. All right, lead the way back to the people.
Yeah, let's figure out where this crime scene is.
Alright. So meanwhile, while Dimple and Vera were doing their stuff, assuming Luke, Kazric, and Rudy, you guys make it to the crime scene where Detective Alex told you. You could see two guards were standing there, just ensuring that nobody walked to the crime scene. As they see Asumi, they salute and allow him to pass. With the rest of you, obviously, your authorization to the crime scene. Give me 1 second to check something. Let's see. Investigation 13. Alright. Alright, so I need, Asumi, Luke, Kazric, and Rurik. I need you guys to roll for investigation as you're looking around the crime scene.
Can I help somebody else at investigation rather than investigating myself?
I got a 12.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Can I help somebody else with the investigation rather than investigating myself?
Sure.
Well, once it gets the help action. Because Kazarik has no idea what he's doing, so he's just trying to be helpful, and that's it. He not good at investigation, no.
I got a nat 20. No bonus.
Asumi got a natural 1. Yikes. The White Knight, everybody. Alright, so as Asumi is looking on the ground going, this floor is snowy.
I'll take the help action, by the way.
Luke, you're looking around as well. Clearly, the White Knights, not the White Knights, sorry, the guards of Follow Door. You, Luke, you know the procedure. And you can see that they follow procedure to ensure that the snowfall doesn't cover the footprints. So basically, you can see the footprints are still there. They're kept, and they're basically ensured that they remain where they are. And both you and Asumi are looking, and you don't find anything that determines that there was any sign of continuation to the steps. This is where they stop, in the alleyway, a little deeper, but they stop there, and that's it. Rudy, you, however, do spot something. You take a closer look, and this is something that was overlooked, but there are signs and evidence that there was a third person involved. Because from the first footprints, there were two people, one leading the other. But a third person was involved, and you managed to catch it because you saw some footprints being covered in the snow. And so you managed to just look at it carefully and follow it, and it looked like the third person was coming in also.
Guys, look at this.
Yeah, go continue.
What?
No, go ahead. Go. You're in character. You were trying to call their attention.
Hey guys, look at this.
Kazak is going to come over and be like, tap you on the back. Not tap, but pat you like, good work.
There is a third set of footprints. It's kind of covered in snow, but there was a third person here.
Assuming is looking and goes, a third person, huh? Probably overlooked because of the snow. Makes me wonder, was there any sign of struggle? As you try to look around, assuming, go ahead and roll for another investigation, though.
If any signs are here, I'm sure we'll find it. You guys have done a very good job at preserving the crime scene.
Alright. Assuming said he rolled a natural. He rolled a 2, I believe. So, yeah, you don't see anything. But continuing with Rudic, real quick, because they still roll a natural 20, and I like to give a little bit bonus. You do see signs, Rudy,
Yeah.
that as assuming is looking around, wondering, you do catch that he was trying to look for something. You do see signs of struggle, almost as if this third person jumped out of nowhere and was struggling against the person that was leading.
Guys, doesn't it look like the third person was tried to do something to the person who was leading the other guy? Like, do you see it? Or am I just imagining things?
As he points it out, you could see that it's there. That you finally start seeing that what they see. Which Asumi responds with, that is a possibility. Looking at this, it does seem that there was a struggle between just those two. The person following doesn't seem to have left, which means, could it be that the third person was trying to save them?
Can I look at the walls to see if there's a way to climb up?
Yeah, you don't need to roll for anything, but you do see that there are ways to climb up. But knowing how the weather is, there's a good chance that those ledges are very slippery. So it would be extremely hard. Go ahead and roll for from where you're standing, go ahead and roll for another investigation.
That's 19.
Wow, you're doing really good, okay? With that 19, you could see that a lot of the ledges are very slippery. And there are signs that someone was climbing them. And as you try to put two to two together, it seems that the third person that was here, was most likely on the rooftop because of where the footprint you found, where they start from, and they seem to start from the side of the building.
So, guys, there's a high possibility that the third person was on the roof and like climbed down to jump, like to attack or to do something to the leading person.
Hmm.
How
Fair
tall is
assumption.
the building?
Sorry, what was that?
How tall is the building?
I would say it's about whew, 10, 11 feet tall. Like it wasn't like a business building, but so it was like a normal house. So I would say like about 10 to 11 feet tall.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the guards and ask them if they. Hey, do you guys have a ladder or something? Or is there somewhere I can take a ladder from?
As you ask that, they look at each other and they're like, "No, we don't have a ladder." They look around to see for a moment. Just 2 blocks to the west, pointing on their left. There's actually the a construction office. Maybe they might have something. And the other guard goes, "Well, it's an office, so they might not, but you never know."
I'm gonna go ask them. I'm gonna shout at to Luke, Kazrik, and Asumi. Hey guys, I'm gonna go quickly get a ladder.
Zarek is going to pull out a grappling hook, and with the other hand, he's going to point at you. You need.
Oh, well, that's even better.
All right. All right. So first, I
Borrowed. He's going to repeat again. Borrowed. You understand? Ich will wieder haben.
Yes, sir.
Azumi, I think it might be worth taking down notes about the size of these footprints. Could help us identify a target later. Meanwhile, I think I might go and knock on the resident's front door and ask them a few questions.
So while Asumi is typing, Kazrik, as you go to do that, you go to aim your grappling hook to go on ahead and just and Batman your way up there. Do me a favor and roll for the hit chance for the crossbow. Or do you like just try to swing it and throw it?
Oh, I was going to give it to Rudevik. I'm not getting paid. I'm not doing any big work. Also, I want to be there for the conversation with Luke Raven and the commoner.
Alright. Assuming goes, alright, I will go on ahead and do that and then speak with the guards here so they can write that down to inform Detective Alex what we found. This third footprint could possibly give us a clue to who was here. Oh, Asumi also asked Luke. He looks at you and goes, You did say you were from the Wizard Tower, yes.
That's right.
Well, I've learned from a wizard, but not too much. Do you perhaps have a... Hold on. I'm trying not to sneeze here. My allergies are acting up, I'm sorry. He asks if you have a detect magic spell on you. Or do you know the detect magic spell?
Unfortunately, I'm not in possession of such spell. I'm more into the explosive and basic applied applications of magic.
He nods and goes, that is fine. I was just asking to see if perhaps you can start using it to try to detect magic with me to see if we can find any source of teleportation. He says as he goes on ahead, and while he first goes to cast detect magic. Um, Give me one moment. As he used to detect spell, you don't sense any active spells at this moment, or at least that we know of, active spells. But you do sense a leftover essence of a teleportation spell, and you recognize how the spell is. So as you sense this, you know that your assumption before was right. It could be that they teleported. Asumi says, I think I have discovered what happened to a degree. I sense some leftover essence of teleportation. It could be that they were teleported, all three of them.
He's expensive, no?
Is what expensive?
This spell, of course.
Repeat that, sorry?
Kazarik is going to ask Azumi. Spell expensive, no?
Asumi responds with, hold on, wait, you made a typo there. Okay, you edited, thank you. He responds with, when you're teleporting more than one person, yes, the ruins will be very costly.
Then it's brand. No, they must know. Kind is of good blood. So, this plant.
Are you trying to say that the person who did the kidnapping or did the teleportation was probably of a higher status? Like a noble, perhaps?
No, victim high status.
Oh.
And
Oh.
kidnapper, no. This.
Oh, my bad.
Kidnapper's plant.
While they ponder this, I'm gonna start walking around the building or something to get to the residence door.
Kazarik is going to come with you.
Sorry. Real quick, as you look around, there are no windows in this alleyway, and there's probably no vantage point that anybody could see. anything. She's assuming you said you were trying to get the measurement of the foot, right? Yeah. So as you finally got the measurement, measuring the feet and everything and all that, you report to the guards and you inform them that they needed to give this to Detective Alex so he could have that information if it was a third person. Anything else any of you were gonna do? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna use the grappling hook Kazrik gave to me and try to get on the roof.
All right. So go ahead and roll for just normal strength. Good old normal strength.
By the way,
That's
while you have
16.
the grappling hook, you do notice that it is marked with a name rune.
Very nice rune. That's a 16 for the check.
Alright, so you go on ahead and you swing it hard enough to just move your motion to swing high towards the roofs, and you do it hard enough to just it goes boom and boom, and you hear it land on something. And as you start pulling it gently, you feel eventually it gets to something that you double check just to make sure. You do like a 3 hard tug, knowing that it's gonna need to support your weight. And yeah, it's there really good. It doesn't seem like it's leaning or anything. You could feel it. Go ahead and roll athletic for me for climbing.
That's 18.
Amazing. So you go on ahead and you start climbing up. Thanks to your training, you managed to just get up there. Very good. You managed to keep your footing in check, carefully climbing. Your hands are tight on the rope. And finally, you manage to climb up to the roof where you look around. And you can see that there's signs, like clear signs, because the roof is covered in a lot of snows. But looking around, there's clear evidence that someone was on the roof. You don't know why, but you do see that they were laying on the roof, probably using the roof as a way to relax, maybe?
Interesting. So they were like lying down on their back, just chilling. From the shape of the, the dent in the snow.
I'm sorry, repeat the question?
From the shape in the snow, like they were lying down at what position? Like were they towards the edge of the thing, to maybe
yeah.
trying to look down, or?
Yeah, they were laying on their back, and from the shape of it, you could tell that they had both of their hands behind their back. So they were just, what you could assume is they were relaxing on the rooftop. And it wasn't until like maybe later on that you could see that there was a motion of him getting up and moving towards the edge to look down, most likely. And then you could see some footprints or some snow. There's some part of the snowy roof that looked like he was walking in before it got covered by snow. And it does show that he climbed down through that location to avoid being spotted.
The trail of snow that he went to climb down, is it towards the alley?
I would say yes.
What size is the lying down dent, like in lengthwise?
Go ahead and roll for investigation, because, like I said, it's on the roof, so there's a lot of snow. So
That's a 6.
That's a 6, yeah. So explaining that part, because it's on the roof and there's a lot of snow, you can't give an accurate assumption, but he does look like he's somewhere around 5 foot, and looking at how the snow is covered, he might not be that big, but he could be. So you're not entirely sure on the size of the person.
At least above 5 feet. Nice.
At least, yeah. Like compared to you, you can tell he's around 5 foot.
Small. Okay, I'm gonna try to carefully get down and unhook the grappling hook. Like just not even like climbing down. I'm gonna like do jump down. It's not that high.
Alright, so you're just gonna try to jump down first, or like first?
Yeah.
Like, you
I'm gonna unhook the grappling hook and like jump down.
Alright. That is still pretty high from where you are, so I would have to ask you to roll a Constitution saving throw. It's not that high, but it's high enough.
That's an 18.
Alright, so you jump down and then just boom, you land, and luckily you didn't hurt yourself because you managed to land in a way that you know wouldn't hurt you that much. But you at least take a 3 bludgeoning damage because your feet does feel like a bit of a ow, you know, like your nerves and your feet are like, ow, why, sir? So with that, as you jump down, assuming entered, have you found anything, Rudy?
Yeah, so there was someone lying down on the roof, like on their back. Then they went to get down on the roof into this alleyway, so it could be the third person. I did not estimate the height like very accurately, but I know they're at least above 5 feet. Hope that helps.
He's typing right now. Okay. Yeah. He says so. Someone who's 5 foot was on the roof.
Not 5 foot. They were at least above 5 feet. I did not. They could have have their legs, like. How should I say this? Like above, like not completely lengthwise. Like they could have curled them up, So I don't know exactly how tall were they. They were.
Alright, so he corrected himself there, saying so around 5 foot.
Above 5 feet. Above, not around, but above. I would say.
Yeah. Who was on the roof and then possibly jumped down and intervened with what's going on here. So this person was either the kidnapper or tried to save the victim from being kidnapped.
Yes. And if we go with the theory that the guy on the roof is the third person, and the person who was leading from the 2 people who were walking in this alley, then it could have possibly been someone trying to save them. At least that's what I think.
Who waits on roof to save kid?
Some vigilante, perhaps?
You think vigilante would try help kid?
I know I would do it.
Assuming
You know vigilante.
assuming said
I'm Batman.
assuming said or perhaps someone who was there at the right time saw something and tried to help.
Very possible, sir.
Sumi looked at you, Luke. Are you still around there, right?
Oh no, I already headed off to go to like the front side of the residence.
Right. So focusing on you real quick then. What was it you were trying to do again?
I'd just walk up and like give their front door a knock if they have one.
Alright, so you knock on the front door and you hear somebody go, "In a minute." As you open it, you as they open it, you see it was a dark-skinned woman with her hair bundled up on the very top, covered in flowers. And she looks over to you and she goes, "Oh, can I help you?" Very tall person.
Yeah, the name's Raven, Luke Raven, and I just wanted to ask you a few questions. Is that okay with you?
Question about.
I was just wondering if you happen to notice any disturbing sounds as of late. Perhaps strange noises coming from the backside of your house, or perhaps maybe somebody walking around on top of your roof.
Huh. She thinks for a moment. She goes, "Actually, yes, I recall hearing some complaints. I already told the guards everything I know. Um, but just basically on the other side of the walls, even though they were thick enough, I did hear some rummage through trash cans. And I think I might have heard some struggle, but when I went to check, I didn't see anything at all. I already told the guards this. Um, oh, actually, I did see someone walking to the alley before I saw two other individuals walking to the alley."
Hmm, interesting. And did you give the guards a description of what those people might have looked like?
Oh, yes, of course. Um, she goes on ahead and she gives you the description of the first one being a civilian with brown hair, normal skin tone. He looked to be about 5'5" to her, and very athletic, which could be the person who Rudy assumed was on the roof. And then she explains the noble person, but she couldn't really explain the noble. Sorry, hold on. She explained the noble who was following a individual who was unrecognizable because he was wearing a hooded attire. Like his entire body was covered by the hood.
A strange hooded figure. That's rather intriguing. But if they already know about this, I suppose. Thank you for your cooperation. I don't think I have any further questions for you.
Well, if you're helping the guards, hopefully you can manage to find the perpetrators that are responsible for these horrible kidnaps. So good luck to you, Mr. Raven.
Oh, wait a minute. Did this boy happen to be, I don't know, a noble? The one with the brown hair?
Yes, actually.
I see. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I appreciate the cooperation.
She nods and she goes, "And you too, be safe in this cold. My my ankle is hurting, so be aware that usually that means that there might be a blizzard coming."
Noted. And he'd just kind of wave and walk back to join the others.
So as you wave at her goodbye and are heading towards the other now, you see Thimble and Barra. How do you guys approach the crime scene? Were you like jogging over there or walking?
Probably just walking.
Yeah.
All right, so you managed to Luke. You managed to see Thimble and Barra. What do you guys? You bump into each other, in other words.
Give him a slight wave. And then, oh, you guys are back. Was your visitation with the guy fruitful?
Well, mostly he was incredibly suspicious about various different questions he was asking this one lady. So let me put it like this. He basically was asking if she was living alone and if anyone would miss her. And the answer to both was yes, so he gave her a bracelet, cast some kind of weird spell. So, Luke, since you're a wizard, or was a wizard, or whatever's going on of that, could you examine this bracelet that Bera somehow got?
Yeah, I went up to John and just told him that basically I was new here, had no family or friends, and was going to sleep outside of town by myself away from the guards tonight, and he gave this one, foaming at the mouth.
Did you happen to tell him the exact location you'd be sleeping? Also,
No, just somewhere outside of town.
I see. Also, Thimble, did you happen to catch where this lady lives?
Kind of. I followed her to her place of work. I was hoping we could go there as soon as possible and, either talk to her or talk to her boss to find out where she lives.
That would be very important information to find out. Great work, both of you.
Thanks. Anyway, could you take a look at the bracelet? I want to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out if, he cast, a tracking spell or something on it.
Right. If that if that was the case, we'd need to discard this as soon as possible. Now, let me see that bracelet.
I would hold out my arm that the bracelet was on.
While I might not have detect magic, can I take a look over it? Maybe some arcana?
Do you have identify?
I do not.
Well, then roll for Arcana. Maybe you could spot something.
21.
21. Okay. As you are looking through the brass amulet, the brass bracelet. Even though you're not the type of wizard that would love to do what most wizards do, have detect magic or identify, your study in the tower does give you knowledge enough to know one thing. There is a faint glow on this bracelet, and there's ruins around it that does determine that it was meant for a spell to be casted on it and to stay active for a bit. You don't know how long, but you do know that this could be what Thimble described a tracking spell.
Thimble, it seems that your intuition proves correct. At least in my assumption of what I can see. We should definitely discard this. In my opinion.
Or we could try and, we could bring it to my aunt. She knows a bit more magic. Once we make sure the lady's safe, we can maybe use it as bait.
I was thinking of using her home location as bait, but either way, I suppose we have options. Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of up to you guys. If you think it's safer to get rid of it, we'll get rid of it and just focus on trying to protect the one person. But I feel like it might be better in the long run to keep it somewhere.
Perhaps we should store it somewhere temporarily where we know we can pick it up later. Just in case if we're baiting using the woman and it does track us, they won't know where we are.
If we had a lead box, that'd probably interrupt any kind of teleportation magic or something.
As you both continue to talk, Asumi walks out of the alleyway, seeing you guys, and goes, "Oh, there you guys are." As he looks over to you, Thimble, he goes, "There you are, cousin. What took you so long?"
I went to give Grandma some flowers, that's all.
Asumi nods and goes, "Ah, very well." The rest of you who are around listening to that, you could assume that's like some kind of code that they have with each other.
Well, Kerek will, not Kerek, what the fuck, Katsrik will take this word by word. He's actually going to believe he went to his grandma.
Man got bamboozled.
Timble.
Well, he does not
when
understand the
you're here,
concept.
you should have invited us. You know, we could have met the nice lady.
Yeah. Anyway, so I got a trail to go off of. I think I know who. We have two possibilities who the next victim is. Either it's going to be Bera, or it's going to be this one lady who works at a butcher shop.
We could bait Barrier Armband and go out city and ambush.
Assuming says, then I suppose the first one who's going to be kidnapped. Who's the most likely person?
Well, I think with Bera, it's probably going to be a matter of opportunity. If the guy doesn't see her outside the city, he's probably going to focus on the first one. Mostly because, like, if he doesn't strike now, he'll miss out on the fact that her parents aren't home.
Yeah, Bera can sleep outside all she wants, whenever she wants.
Very true. That's what I assume he would attack her first.
For sure. Agreed.
Good thing.
How do we do this? Do we like go to the lady and be like, "Hey, can we guard you?" It's gonna be probably suspicious, you know?
No, she's stupid.
Assuming goes, as a white knight, I can't do anything like this. I cannot participate in this form of ambush. So I would have to play the idiot and pretend I do not know what's going on.
I mean, you could just end up guarding the potential victim. Like, you know, use some of that
Yeah, we
white
could
knight
convince her.
charm.
It doesn't seem very hard to convince her to do anything. So,
Yeah, admittedly, she isn't exactly the brightest tool in the shed, giving out a lot of personal information to just a random homeless guy.
Well, she told homeless guy about parents not home. Dwarven kind, that is a woman wanting. He winks at Azumi.
don't know if that's the case, but she also said she had no loved ones either. Lovers.
Yeah, she did mention she was single. I
How
mean,
tall did the guy look? What was his name again? Started with a W.
John Williams?
Yeah. What? How tall was he? Like, just by your eye, you know, just.
Do I remember how tall this guy was? DM, do I know how tall he is? How tall John Williams is?
I would say as from when you saw him, you could say that he was probably around 5'6". Like he was sitting down, so you couldn't really give an exact height, but he could have been like somewhere between 5'5" or 5'6".
Somewhere between 5 and 6 feet, towards the taller end.
So it could be the guy on the roof. Interesting.
Given that he's the one casting weird spells on random junk bracelets he's passing out to people who then somehow disappear, I'm kind of inclined to think that no, he was not on the roof. Unless he was waiting on the roof to kidnap them.
Yeah, that's what I think. You know?
Sumi responds with, but then the person leading them could be the partner, leading someone behind the back alley, and then Mr. William proceeds to jump down and teleport them all. But then again, according to Rudy, there was a sign of struggle.
Yeah.
Things could have gone not as planned, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to think that. Well, here's the thing. If somebody was leading somebody else, it had to be someone they knew. 9 times out of 10, a kidnapping happens with someone you already knew. So it's possible that John lured them in the alleyway, and then. Well, quick question. What was the struggle between the person in the back or the person leading them?
The leading guy versus the guy on the roof.
Huh. Interesting. That could mean the guy on the roof might have been interrupting the kidnapping and, out of panic, the actual kidnapper teleported him and the victim, or them and the victim, somewhere else.
Yeah, that could be it. Very smart, Timble.
Yeah, you have to go through a lot of these scenarios in your head sometimes when you're doing things that no one wants to find out about. Point is, there's a high possibility that the kidnapper was the person in front, and that was probably going to be John. Whereas the second person following them was likely the victim.
Wo Women arbeiten.
He means to say something about the woman's work.
Ah, right, the butcher shop lady. Yeah. So just follow me. I'll lead you to it, and then we'll. I guess we can discuss how we're gonna handle this on the way there.
Butcher shop, all I need know.
Yeah, follow me to the butcher shop, big guy.
Assuming he says, then I suppose when you're trying to ambush the kidnapper to protect Bera, I shall proceed to guard the butcher lady.
Yeah, that could
Have
work.
idea.
Yeah.
Azumi, why you no go talk with butcher lady and make nice eyes.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe she invites you home.
Yeah, if you somehow get her with you, then it might dissuade the kidnapper from trying anything, and then it would mean that Bera becomes the main target, and we can lie in wait for that.
So with this plan in action, you're now all heading to the most eastern side of Falador, making your way to the city itself, to the butcher shop.
Also, Kazarik is going to give a sweet treat to Azumi. Women love food. Give her.
Oh, he's right. I could give you like some berries that help you with intimacy.
Mind you, this is
No.
like an actual proper created treat, not some dumb berries that Kazarik is sending out. Like sweets.
Well, berries aren't dumb, and I'm sure she would love some strawberry juice. It goes well with treats.
DM question: is there some random piece of wood lying around when we are going?
Sorry, repeat that?
Is there some random piece of wood when we are walking towards the butcher's shop?
Yeah, there's a bunch of civilians walking away from the area you're going to. Some
Wood.
people walking towards
Wood,
the
like
area.
I meant wood, like trees. You know, wood.
Oh, woods. No, you're in the city. I would say that there are like bundles of trees around, so it could seem like more like a small batch of trees within the city. Because if you look at like there will be like some grassy areas with trees, but you're in the city, so there isn't really any wood-like area that you would go to.
I think he was asking for like a branch or a piece of wood laying around rather than actual woods.
Oh,
Yeah.
like a piece of
Yeah, piece of wood. I should have said piece.
Yeah,
Yeah, my bad.
no, you're fine, you're fine. Remember, I'm hard of hearing, so that's pretty. Yeah, probably. There, like, I would say there's a lot, because.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it and just try to carve out something.
Alright. So, with that, just to finish it up now, because we do have to end the stream soon. It got a little bit. The session soon, because it did got a little bit long. With all that, you are now heading towards the location, ready to continue this task. With all the clues that you have now, it does point to you towards one thing. And that is that now that you have two possible victims. Bera, who thankfully is going to be with you, and the butcher assistant, which you're heading over now to investigate. And we're going to pause it right here. With that, I thank every one of you for participating. And I thank the people at home for watching live and hopefully watching the recording of this. And we shall continue our session next week.